Okay, before we begin, I need to do a couple of little pickups, so ignore me for the next 30 seconds, please. And then we'll be on to this match tonight, Wrexham against Orient. So, 3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Wrexham time. Wrexham against Wycombe Wanderers. Rob and Ryan are here today, of course. It's a sort of increased sense of jeopardy as we return to League One. League One will be physically harder. A lot of people say they'd be happy with consolidation this season. I won't be, because I think if nothing else, Rob and Ryan have taught me to dream. 3, 2, 1. It's Wrexham time. Wrexham against Wycombe Wanderers. Rob and Ryan here today, of course. It's sort of increased sense of blah, 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 blah. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Wrexham, the FC. Wrexham against Wycombe Wanderers. Rob and Ryan are here today, and there's an increased sense of jeopardy as we return to League One. League One will be physically harder. A lot of people say they'd be happy with consolidation this season. I won't be, because I think if nothing else, Rob and Ryan have taught me to dream. And one last take. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Wrexham, AFC. It's Wrexham time. Wrexham against Wycombe Wanderers. Rob and Ryan are here today, of course. It's a real sense of jeopardy here. No. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Wrexham, AFC. It's Wrexham time. Wrexham against Wycombe Wanderers. Rob and Ryan are here today, of course. There's a real increased sense of jeopardy as we return to League One after all these years. League One will be physically harder. A lot of people say they'd be happy with consolidation this season. I won't be, because I think, if nothing else, Rob and Ryan have taught me to dream. Right, that's that done. Hello everyone, and welcome to Wrexham, AFC. It's Wrexham against Leyton Orient this time. Yeah, that's right, we're back from the past, slap bang in the present. Wrexham, after 2 excellent away league wins, 4 wins in a row in general, face a side who frankly can claim to have better form than us, and that's saying something. Leyton Orient, who started the season in utterly horrific manner, lost their first 4 games, including that 4th one against Shrewsbury, who had lost all their games at that point. But they have come roaring back in spectacular fashion. Last time they lost an away game, mid-October. This is going to be a proper test against the side who are in 6th place, who are in a playoff spot. I'm Mark Griffiths. I'll be joined by Andy Morrell and Mia Roberts soon. They are down on pitch side just finishing their piece for Wrexham's YouTube channel. You can catch the end of that now if you want, and remember that at half-time and full-time they will be doing that again. Also, if you stay with me at half-time, we'll chat through some of your Ask Wrexham questions. That's hashtag ASKWXM on Blue Sky or Twitter if you want to get in touch with us to ask questions, make comments, or anything else. Maybe talk about the astonishing facts that the Final Whistle podcast didn't win any BAFTA awards last night. I know, it's hard to believe, but it's true. Well, folks, if you want to start a petition, it's not for me to say, is it really? Anyway, let's get on to the teams. But having said that, not a huge amount to report from the home side, at least. Wrexham are unchanged from the team that was so impressive at Northampton on Saturday. I mean, what a controlled, dominant and comprehensive performance that was. We really were terrific. And as a consequence, the same team named by Phil Parkinson. So, it's Mark Howard in goal. The back three, Max Cleworth is on the right-hand side. Owen O'Connell is in the middle. And on the left is Lewis Brunt. Wing-backs, Ryan Barnett on the right. James McLean on the left. In midfield, we've got the trio who absolutely dominated the game at Sixfields on Saturday. Matty James in the middle, anchoring Ollie Rathbone and George Dobson. Although I use the word anchoring with inverted commas around it. Not just that we don't really play with an orthodox defending midfielder, but also because, well, if we play like we did against Northampton, our holding midfielder is deep in their half. Up front, both making their first home starts and their home league debuts. The January signings who have really excited everybody, Sam Smith and Jay Rodriguez. The bench for Wrexham is also unchanged. Arthur Okonkwo is joined by Seb Revan, Dan Scarr, Ryan Longman, Andy Cannon, Jack Marius, and of course Stephen Fletcher. As for Orient, they've made 4 changes from the side that won on Saturday and added time against Crawley. This is not a surprise though, because Richie Wellens, their highly rated manager, who we believe is being pursued by Blackburn Rovers at the moment to fill their vacancy at Ewood Park, he likes to rotate. And so he's changed his team around a little bit, but there's still plenty of quality. In fact, looking at the players who've come in, you might argue that he'd given them a little bit of a rest on Saturday to prepare them for this top-of-the-table test. So, Orient lining up with Josh Keeley in goal. Keeley is on loan from Tottenham and has made a massive impact on Orient's upsurge this season. In fact, Orient have been very, very skillful players of the loan market. He's not the only key player who's a temporary signing, as you'll see in a moment. Across the back, you think that Ethan Galbraith will move across to right back, although from centre midfield on Saturday, he produced the assists for all 3 goals. On the left-hand side, the left-back's Jayden Sweeney. In the middle, Dan Happy comes back in alongside Jack Simpson. The double pivot in midfield, Jordan Brown, is joined by the highly experienced Darren Pratley. In the second line, we've got Sonny Perkins on the right, Rundell Williams on the left, and then Jamie Donnelly playing off the striker, Charlie Kelman. Both of them are on loan. Kelman from QPR, and he is their top scorer with 13 goals, including the injury time winner on Saturday. Donnelly, who has been absolutely sensational, on loan from Tottenham, scored, of course, well, wasn't credited with, was he? But he was responsible, shall we say, for that remarkable goal they scored when they took the lead against Man City in the 4th round of the Cup. The ball hitting the bar and bouncing onto Stefan Ortega's back after Donnelly hit it from the halfway line. So Wrexham, I've got a test against some good quality players here. Wrexham in red shirts, white shorts, Orient in their change kit of all light blue. Wrexham will be kicking towards the 4th wall in the first half, and I'm delighted that Andy and Mia are back up here now after doing their sprint up the steps from the side of the pitch to have a look at what ought to be a very well contested match.
Oh, nice of you to turn me on.
Well, I mean, wouldn't be the first time, Andy.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, because I'm expecting to see some really good football played from Leyton Orient. Wrexham are going to have to be at their best to get anything out of this game. As long as they're on the front foot and put them under pressure, then I think we've got a chance.
As away we go. And immediately Happy is a highly rated centre-back, puts it out of play. Happy has established himself for them in National League. Of course, they came up under Justin Edinburgh, who did an outstanding job at Orient, bouncing them back up at the second attempt on the National League. Here's Galbraith, who is playing at right back, knocking it forwards, and O'Connell gets rid. Wrexham will be so keen to replicate that front foot approach they had at Northampton, as immediately Cleworth under pressure puts a long one in for Rodriguez to chase, and the backspin will help him. And he goes to ground though and isn't able to get away from Simpson. And now it's a test at the other end for O'Connell, which he passes well. But yeah, they're going to, rotated team as Wellens likes to do, and their form is such. They've got good strength and depth, just as we have.
Yeah, they can cause real problems just through their unpredictability at times. You sort of don't really know where certain players are going to play. We had the debate, before the game about where Galbraith was going to go. I did actually call it, thinking he was going to come out on this right-hand side. And, like Andy pointed out earlier about, probably pushing towards that inverted fullback sort of style of play tonight. But it'll be really interesting to see. It should be some real good matchups out there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just saying before you came up, Galbraith played centre mid on Saturday and put in 3 assists. So what do? That's proper rotation, isn't it? Stick him in a different part of the pitch. As Wrexham again coming forward. Simpson hooks it out for another throw-in on the right-hand side. Wrexham looking to steal a few yards. A few is a bit of an underestimate. And in the end, it is going to be Cleworth who takes it rather than Barnett, who wants to take it from a heck of a long way further forward than he should have done. Brunt now in the Wrexham half. McLean offering an angle. Brunt typically looks to drive forwards. He's a little lucky. He was tackled by Summers, but Wrexham retained possession. Barnett on the right. Dobson looks to play a return ball for him, using his pace, and he's herring after that. Really well judged tackle that by Happy to put out for a throw by the corner flag. Promising start.
Yeah, good one too. Puts Barnett on his bike down that right-hand side, but like you say, good cover. Right across, good sliding tackle.
Barnett by the corner flag, faced the cross, sends two players the wrong way, but drills it in another throw by the corner flag. And Wrexham starting to get on the front foot here. Rodriguez is lurking and offering now. Barnett waits for more movement and in the end throws it purposefully back to Cleworth, who lifts it back in again. Barnett stretching does well to keep the move alive, and Rodriguez likewise. Wrexham are struggling to tame this, and in the end Rodriguez can't control his header. It goes out for a throw. But yeah, straight away, just like the start against Northampton, there's just no space in the middle of the pitch. Both sides really looking to press hard and stop the opposition from executing. It's a throw down the flank by Sweeney, backpedaling. Cleworth gets it partly away, and when it comes back in, it's cleared again by O'Connell. Rathbone helps it on. Sweeney again, right-footed, driving it over the top. Good firm header again by O'Connell, dominating Kelman. And there's a ball over the top. Smith making a typical run. The backspin just holds it up by the corner flag. He's drawn Happy out and pulls it back to Barnett. Barnett was Cleworth offering, and Wrexham will be happy to recirculate. Again, like Saturday, Wrexham starting to settle into a control of possession as Howard drills it long over the top. Doesn't give a chance to Smith that. Simpson away. And now the ball in the end rolls out of play. Throw goes Orient's way, perhaps a little bit surprisingly, on the halfway line.
Yeah, I thought Sonny Perkins was actually appealing for a foul rather than the throw, just because Lewis Brunt seemed to put his hands on his back. I don't think it was, but in the end, we do get the throw in. Yeah,
the referee in the end has overruled the linesman, and Wrexham do have the throw, so it's Brunt down the line. Headed square, bravely in by Dobson, but equally bravely headed away by Brown. And now a chance maybe for a breakaway as James is trying to track back to the edge of the area. Shot comes in from Kelman, but he can't keep it down. But it was a little moment where we lost our shape at the back and could have been punished.
Yeah, it's just a simple straight ball into Kelman. He takes it really well on the outside of his foot, then drives it. James can't nibble from the back. And then it's Cleworth trying to get across to put him off. Does enough, puts himself in the way. It's on Kelman's left foot, fires it well high and wide.
Howard doesn't get the distance he intended on that, and Kelman lays it off once more, prodded in by Donnelly, and Howard quickly off his line does well to claim that. It was O'Connell as well, just blocking Kelman off to make sure he couldn't get any closer to that. But Orient just showing their threat on a couple of occasions here. Howard goes long, headed partly clear. And a little chance now for Brown to get the ball on the floor as it comes back to him, and it's a pass which allows Williams to show his pace. Cleworth is in control though, and he drills a good ball to Smith, who pops her off. Unlucky, nearly found Rodriguez, throws to Wrexham.
Yeah, well, he's looking for Rodriguez straight away into his feet. Can he just set and spin? Just fizzed into him though, isn't it? It's a tough one to control first time, but gets a throw in off the back of it.
Cleworth down the line. Rodriguez can't reach that. Cleworth will head it down the flank once more. Again, just over Rodriguez's head though, throw into Orient.
We can see from the front four of Orient that when they do get possession, they fire it into the feet and they're going, aren't they? The red arrows inside the pitch, outside, they're all over the place, offering threats from all around. Wrexham are going to have to be right on their mettle to make sure they pick up runners.
That's a bit of a loose pass by Simpson. And it's won back by McLean. Oh, he's unlucky. In fact, that came off McLean last, I would say.
It did.
That's got that right. The crowd don't like it, but
it was right.
Yeah, he's correct, isn't it? Just nicked his toe, didn't it, as it was going across the line. It's a hubbub in the crowd, can't believe it, but yeah. It's a throw to Orient, and rightly so. Galbraith will take it, about halfway up his own half on the right. Throws down the line. And good header away by O'Connell. Put back down the flank by Pratley, and this time Kelman wins the header. Cleworth heads it clear, but Pratley does well to get to the second ball. His pass into the box is too strong. But there have been a few little passages in the last couple of minutes where they are getting to that second ball in Wrexham's half. It's going to be a game where you have to fight for the right to be in control. And yeah, we need to be winning those second balls if we can't control the game in the middle. Long kick by Howard, flicked on well by McLean. Rodriguez is chasing. Simpson does well to get the back pass in rather than put out of play. And Rodriguez gets quite close to Keeley, but he clears really well. Nice layoff by Kelman. And fed backwards again. Good block by Smith coming across to make the challenge, throwing to Orient. Smith has the tiniest shin pad in the world and tucks it back into his sock. It might have been a stamp, actually.
You said it there, the second balls, it's really imperative that our three midfielders are picking up those balls that are cleared from our back three, because there's going to be, looks like Orient like to play forward early. They occupy the three forwards up against three centre halves. So if we're going to win those headers, we've got to pick up those second balls around them, and our three men are our wing backs.
Yeah, different from Northampton. It seems to me that James really is picking up Donnelly and sticking by him. I was just watching then when he made a run out wide. James wasn't going to let him go anywhere. As O'Connell attacks that well. Pratley with the early ball over the top. It's a good idea. Kelman's after it. Howard though does well. Comes out the box. No nonsense. Launches it out for a throw to Orient deep in their own half. But Donnelly is a class act. You know, I know the Orient BBC guy quite well. He's a nice chap. And he was saying he's just grown up this year. At the start of the season, he wasn't showing the qualities he's showing now, but he is really impressive youngster from Tottenham.
Well, you've obviously got qualities if you are at Spurs, do you know what I mean, first and foremost, but it's just confidence. You know, when you do go to a club and you're playing week in, week out, that grows with confidence. Then you get a couple of goals from that position as well. You know, I've got an Orient fan, and he's saying exactly the same thing, raving about him, saying that, you know, he's going to have a very, very good career.
Orient now back in their own penalty area, but they, after being forced back in the opening minutes, are starting to get a decent grip on possession. Happy helps it across to Sweeney. And now the ball comes across the right-hand side. Simpson, as Orient are patient, just moving that ball around. Galbraith again, like Andy said, tucks in, inverted fullback, and is currently in a central midfield position, looking to link things up. Pratley, who went wide, then came back in and found space, chips it over the top. Williams using that pace once more. Cleworth, did he knock it off his man? Yes, he did. But you can see straight away, I mean, Williams is very fast, isn't he? I mean, Cleworth's no slouch, but he's really having to accelerate to make sure that he beats him to it. And then on the other side, the right-sided striker, they really seem to be pushing Perkins quite high, aren't they, onto Brunson's, making a two. They're asking different questions of us.
Yeah, but it's Pratley who finds that space because of that movement from Galbraith, who goes into that inverted fullback role and just pulls Rathbone with him.
Yeah, it was good watching that movement by Pratley. Came back in again, and by which point he'd managed to lose Rathbone. As players stopped because of a blow to the head on Pratley. I'm really surprised Ref didn't stop it immediately, and I'm very surprised the Orient bench didn't get up and ask him to either, but we have stopped it now.
Yeah, but throughout that passage of play, it was Galbraith, like we talked about, going inside into that midfield. But what Pratley was doing is as he's running across into a space, he's telling Perkins to go on, push on, you go high, I'm going here, this is our pattern of play, how we're going to do it. And then what I'll do is I'll curve back in and find that pocket in behind our midfield three. And then that pass through Galbraith straight into Pratley, and he's on our back three with three runners as well, and they're all running towards Mark Howard's goal. You know, it looks very impressive. It's very difficult to stop as well.
Yeah, they look a well-drilled, compact outfit, don't they? As their results would suggest. Like I said, they haven't lost an away game since the middle of October. I mean, that's quite something. And Richie Wellens has really developed a reputation for himself, of course, to the extent that Blackburn are reported to be interested in bringing him into Ewood Park. As Pratley will have to wait to come back on the pitch after treatment. Simpson drills it over the top, and it's well won in the air and headed square by Perkins. James is there, launches it clear, and it's headed back in midfield. James again does well. Rathbone over the top, and that is something to chase for Sam Smith. Left channel, he's got McLean in support. He holds it up really well, finds McLean, only one man in the box. Rathbone's been nice one into the left channel. It's sensibly, I think, pulled back to James. James hits a switch. It's ambitious, and Sweeney does well to intercept it. It bounces back up into his body. The fans shout for handball, but the ref's right to ignore that. And the ball is switched, but switched inaccurately. Now, can Wrexham break? No, because Wrexham instead Wrexham are moving it around the back, and Donnelly, who played the sloppy pass, gets up to press. And the ball's played forward. Smith is offside. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, this, to get on top of them in the middle of the pitch, I feel. It's Happy. Just moving it around at the back. As he decides he's going to go long, looking for the one of Kelman, who pulls out to the right flank. Just too much on that ball, is there? Yeah, well, actually Kelman's kept it in, and O'Connell has to tackle. Clean then with a typical no-nonsense piece of defending, just smashing it against Perkins for the throw-in. But Kelman showed for that pass really well, didn't he? And you can just see the danger if he can isolate himself against O'Connell. Yeah,
he's the type of striker who won't give up on those sort of balls that you think are a bit of a lost cause. And we've got to make sure we're switched on to that. He's someone who will work hard for the full 90 minutes. He was someone I was really impressed with when they played in that FA Cup game against Man City. Gave absolutely everything for what was a really tough battle. Yeah, they were magnificent against City, weren't they? Really were.
Well, just off the back of Kelman chasing that ball into the channel there, it was Brunt that got dragged in underneath it, which leaves that space behind him. So whether Brunt stays in his slot to deal with that, or whether he has to go in, because Pratley's the one that's going to be free, do you be brave and go in? I think that's the tactic that Wrexham are going with. Just go full tilt, go in, pressure.
Well, Brunson well there to win the ball back, and Dobson quickly feeds it down the right-hand side. Barnett's pace tearing after it. Sweeney does well to get there, but Barnett tackles him, and that'll be a corner. Brilliant play by Barnett after Sweeney looked to have taken control of a frightening situation for him.
You know, you thought Matty James was just going to roll it to Barney's feet, didn't you? But he played him in the channel, put him in a race. But Barney's second to it, but manages to wriggle him and gets just a toe on it. And it comes off him out for a corner.
So McLean with the in-swinger. Wrexham have got two players on Keeley, the keeper. O'Connell is one of them, and Smith is the other. McLean sweeps it under the bar. Nasty one, it's there! Rathbone! Again! Ollie Rathbone, wow! He just can't stop scoring. That's 5 in the season. Wrexham, frankly, ring-fenced Keeley, the keeper, then put it in the goal mouth. He couldn't come through the crowd to get to it. And Rathbone just popped up at the far post in front of an open goal. Thank you very much. 1-0 Wrexham.
Yeah, it's a lovely whipped corner in from James McLean. And Ollie Rathbone, like you say, Mark, that man, he's there again. He just keeps popping up in these little situations. And that ball just keeps going in the back of that net.
What a corner. What pace. He's hit a few. He hit a couple at Northampton on Saturday, didn't he? McLean was right on the money. And that one again, right in the mix. They pin the keeper, like you say, and it's Rathbone gets the wrong side of his man. Just puts it in at the back post. Won't have an easier finish all season, I don't think. Just a little side foot cushion, isn't it? Into the back. Nice run, good timing. Maybe something that they've picked up on from set pieces over the past couple of weeks where Leyton Orient might be weak. And they gain from it.
It wasn't the most complicated of corners, really. I think Sonny Perkins might get a few tellings off when he gets in that changing room, because he just lets Ollie Rathbone run past him, and like you say, the ball's so perfect, there's not much more Ollie Rathbone has to do than just get a foot to it.
Yeah, it was like I said, we just surrounded the keeper, and when they didn't pick him up, when Rathbone lost his man, it was simple as anything.
Well, you wouldn't have thought he's one of the main markers, would you? Rathbone at 5'8" or whatever he is. He's not a danger from corners, you wouldn't have thought, but he just drifts in. He just, like you said, switches off Perkins, and then he's in. And if the ball falls to him, he's got every chance of scoring, and he certainly takes that chance.
So Wrexham in the lead, but Orient have shown what they're all about, haven't they? Let's be honest. As they move the ball about in their own half. This is going to be a fascinating contest. Wrexham are up there in terms of corner goals, but we haven't scored for a corner in a little while, and so it's nice to get back on the mark. As now here are Orient passing through the thirds as Brown works the ball out to the flank. It's shifted across the right-hand side, and Galbraith has a look, but doesn't see anything that he fancies going at. And so Orient continue to be patient. Plenty of time left in this game. It's a good challenge by Brunt comes in. Wrexham looking to get on the front foot and not allow Orient to settle into a passing rhythm. Here's Kelman now just really well to receive that under pressure. O'Connell was touch tight, but he's managed to keep possession. Well, Orient are hurrying themselves here. Wrexham pressed well, and in the end Dobson intercepts a poor ball by Simpson, and Barnett is a clear run at Sweeney. Gets in the box, right hand side, hits it in the cross, and Sweeney blocks it and is able to get to the loose ball and launch it clear for a throw-in.
Well, that was Brunt at his best. You know, he read the situation, and that's where we're going to have to be brave. He's just going to have to read and pick and choose his times when he does go right in and nibble, and he did that on that chance, which releases Barney, and off he goes on his bike. 1v1. Sweeney does very well, though, to block it out for a throw.
Something I think I'm starting to learn about this Orient shape as Barnett's caught offside. That's unlucky. Just coming back to try and claim the ball for the Sweeney. Yeah, one thing I'm starting to learn about the way they're setting themselves up is that they are going to have to leave Sweeney isolated against Barnett, which is often a state of affairs Wrexham will enjoy. Sweeney
well, he's the outball, isn't he, Barney and McLean, because they want to play three high and wide. You know, they have to release at times when we do get that ball in transition, and that's if we can make that pass, exactly like Dobson did there. First thought is it takes a touch, just rolls it out there, knowing that Barney's going to go on his bike.
Well, Rathbone, who's making his 300th league appearance today, has brought up another little milestone. He's now equalled the most goals he's ever scored in a season. 5 goals, which he managed 2 seasons ago, 4 Rotherham in the Championship.
I remember talking to him, you know, when he first scored that belter of a winner, and he came and said, "Oh, it's not something that happens. It's a great feeling and that." And blimey heck, he's a goal-scoring machine now, isn't he?
Can't be stopped.
We found one in Cleworth. We just keep unearthing them.
He scored 1 last season. Oh no, I've just realised. In 2019 he scored 6. He's still got 1 more to go. Ooh, lucky ricochet falls for Smith. He's got McLean and Marks at the far post. And I think he was more interested in getting the shot off. And as a result, Sweeney came up on the blind side and nicked it from him. That was an opening, though, as O'Connell does well to tame an awkward bouncing ball. Cleworth down the flank. Rodriguez won't be able to get to that. Headed out down the line by Happy. And Wrexham, though, still looking to pressure on the ball until in the end it's launched away by Pratley, and O'Connell heads it back into the Orient half. Barnett helping it on. Brown caught in possession, a ball over the top. Now Smith, awkward bounce for him as he tries to take on a last defender. He's done brilliantly to get it across to McLean, who launches it. Great block, puts it behind by Galbraith. But well, that was pressure again.
Yeah, and I think it was a lovely little no-look pass from Jay Rodriguez. Beautiful, just into Sam Smith's path. Just wouldn't quite land for him, and then the same for James McLean on the other side. It almost went in slow-mo. He just couldn't quite get his connection right, just wouldn't quite fall for him. But another chance for Wrexham, off again, picking Leyton Orient off in the middle of the park.
Yeah, Wrexham, after the goal, are really looking threatening. In swinging, right-footed corner with pace. Good header away by Pratley. That'll be another corner on the other side. Pratley did well to attack that.
Well, I think Smith could have played McLean in earlier in the first little period of play, but then he gets the second chance. He sees him, like you say, it was awkward. It was bouncing for Smith. He does get a toe, but then it's bouncing again for McLean. It's not along the floor. He's got to wait for it to come down, but a good block by Galbraith.
Here's McLean with another corner then. Rips it in flat this time to the near post, easily dealt with. Rathbone hurries back, retrieves the ball. Dobson now stands up a diagonal for McLean. It brings it down. He's got Cleworth down the flank. McLean typically busy hurrying inside and plays it back to O'Connell, and he tries a raking ball to Cleworth. Nice flick on by him, and Smith's done well to get there first on the right flank. He's got Clewis down the line. He feeds it inside nicely to Barnett. Chance to cross. Sweeps it in. Rodriguez with the header. Too close to the keeper. Decent contact. We are knocking on the door here.
Yeah, really good to see McLean getting in there as well from the opposite side. We've spoken about that before, our wide men. But Jay Rodriguez, it's McLean that's the furthest up, I think, when the cross comes in. Rodriguez just pulls off. There's not a great deal of power on the cross, so the header, he needs to generate the power. It goes straight into the arms of Keeley. But again, a half chance.
Yeah, Wrexham, the side who are racking up the chances on goal. On Ask Wrexham, it was interesting. I just looked at it just before the first goal, and I saw a message from Chris Malika saying, "I'm biting all my nails," and I was feeling the same way. I thought Orient looked good, but they still look good. But Wrexham have done well. Pratley uses his strength well to win a header. It's driven forwards by Brunt against McLean, who then heads it on, and the referee gives a very generous free kick to Wrexham there. I mean, some of the crowd shouted for a foul by Pratley for the first one. It wasn't, and I couldn't see much in that at all, to be honest. But anyway, the free kick is taken quickly, and it's found Smith in the box, has it? No, he's offside, is he? Oh, he's pulling his shirt, rather. Ooh, that was an awkward little moment, though, because when it dropped loose, you wondered whether Smith was suddenly just going to have the easiest of chances.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable at all, did he? Simpson really looked like he'd misjudged the flight of that ball, and yet again, Sam Smith just causing these defenders problems, just the thought that he's somewhere around you.
Wrexham win it back again, unlucky. A nice idea by Rodriguez, nearly puts Barnett in. It was intercepted, and Galbraith goes long over the top. Kelman and O'Connell come together. The referee says it's not a foul. Kelman, to be fair, was more interested in giving the thumbs up for the pass than asking for the foul. So, Howard with the ball in his hands. Long ball through the middle. Rodriguez backing in, can't get there ahead of Simpson. O'Connell with a decisive header forwards. Simpson once more, doesn't get much distance of that. Well won by Rathbone, and a good turn by Rodriguez. He's unlucky. He just turns it round the corner, and Smith can't quite get there. For me, it was a clear back into Brunt by Kelman. Ref didn't give it, but Wrexham get it clear anyway. Simpson trying to control his header, does well to pick out Perkins. Good tackle again by Rathbone. I was just feeling it before the goal. Rathbone and Dobson weren't able to get into the game as much as you'd want, but since that goal, they are now starting to really influence matters. As Galbraith takes the throw and skips away from Rodriguez. Well read by Brunt. Brilliant interception. Off he goes. On one of his charges, he finds Smith. Oh, he slipped. He was one-on-one with the keeper. I think the flag was going to stay down.
I agree. But well done by Brunt again. It's that picking and choosing those options and those timings, and he does that. Rolls a great ball through. I think Sam Smith needs to go in and get a couple of extra inches on his studs. It's a couple of times he's just slipped over.
Well, yeah, it happens in the first minute, isn't there, at Northampton, when he was in behind the defence as well. So whether it's desperate to impress and score goals and just overrunning, I don't know. But anyway, here's Perkins on the right-hand side, halfway line. He cuts in, but it's a crowded midfield, and so he'll have to go backwards. Great work again by Brunt. We're really already getting to see these familiar characteristics of his play. That terrific sprint forwards with the ball at his feet, and his Aaron Hayden-like ability to just levitate when he's going up for those headers. As here is Perkins now, 20 yards out, right-hand side, popping it in neatly. Donnelly can't find the runner. The clearance doesn't pick out Smith. And now there's space for Brown. He may try a shot here, but he won't, because James came across well to close him down. Orient still coming forward to Sweeney, though. He helps the ball on. Out wide. And in the end, will get a chance maybe to deliver himself. Level the edge of the area. Pulls it back instead. Brown. Simpson and Happy, the two centre-backs, are deep in Wrexham territory as Wrexham drop off. And now a chance maybe for Perkins to cross. He cuts inside, a patient instead. Galbraith feeding it back to Simpson. Wrexham patient without the ball. putting pressure on and forcing Orient to play it forwards until a lovely piece of play by Perkins beats two men, gets a return pass, ref plays a good advantage, and Perkins delivers a good ball in. It's well defended that. O'Connell attacked that aggressively, but it'll come back in again here now. Perkins to the edge of the area. Donnelly back to goal, puts into good pressure by Matty James, who forces him deep. And Wrexham again have got their shape back. Ball fed over the Wrexham defence. Good ball for Pratley. He's round the back, but he has to hurry the ball in, and it ricochets behind for a goal kick. But yeah, Pratley just had to hit it first time because he was struggling to keep it in, and that essentially killed the move. But again, we had to dig deep. Orient again just showing their threat.
Yeah, the first real move that Orient have had since conceding, really, isn't it? And, you know, just again showing their quality. Just don't quite get it right in that last bit, but just showing, you know, if Wrexham get that press wrong, or, you know, if they get that, you know, very good touch there from Sonny Perkins in that chance, you know, a few minutes prior, then they can, you know, really get in behind us.
That's a good ball in the half volley by Dobson, squeezing it out wide to Barnett, who gets his pass wrong, unfortunately. Throw in.
I'm just fascinated by the way that the Leyton Orient 11 are playing, because at that one point when during that passing movement before that pattern, Sweeney, the left back, is playing up top in the middle. Williams is out playing left wing back. Galbraith's in the middle. Perkins is out on the right. They've just got the red arrows going forward, and it's just pretty much go and end up where you fancy, I think, and see. But they just ask so many questions of you. There's just so many people and bodies around you that you've just got to start communicating, talking, and sort it out. Yeah,
then you can see that they've not that they're up there at the right end of this league. They look like a strong side, but Wrexham are ahead and are creating chances. As just then as well, Rathbone with a typical piece of work charging down a clearance, and the referee wasn't sure if he'd managed to get a double ricochet and won a corner. He had to have the linesman to help. It was a goal kick given as Wrexham win it back well. Smith quickly to James, who switches it quickly to Barnett, who again has got Sweeney isolated. Three players arriving at the far post as Barnett takes Sweeney on. Sweeney shows him around the outside. Barnett into the box, little step over, and Sweeney does well. Blocks it behind for the corner. I mean, the other thing about him being isolated is maybe they think Sweeney's a good one-on-one defender. He can handle a player like Barnett.
Well, he has done so far. He's done very, very well. But Barney will keep going. He won't stop. But what a lovely pass by James there. He only had a second to just take a touch, and then it's just laces through it. Technique's top draw. As
1930s British Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin said, the bomber always gets through. Eventually Barnett will find that one chance maybe to deliver. McLean rips another one in, but that's too close to Keeley. The big keeper stretches and grabs it and throws it out swiftly. And now, again, talk about red arrows. The four of them are absolutely surging forwards. Perkins in space on the right. He's got a man on marks at the far post. Great work again by Matty James. Gets a foot in, throwing by the corner flag. James has put a lot of fouls out already, isn't he?
Well, it was Orient that were flying forward, four of them, but there were 7 red shirts chasing back. Proper recovery runs, brilliantly done. And Matty James at the front of it manages to snuff out, like you say, and put it out for a throw-in.
It's Simpson feeding it forwards and getting it back. Plays it early down the right-hand side to Galbraith. Pratley makes a run which creates space, and when he receives it from Perkins, he's round the back of the defence and clears. Brunt misses his interception, and it's in. Oh, and Wrexham will be frustrated at that. Pratley was struggling to keep the cross in. He swept it in, and Brunt didn't get a proper contact on his attempt to intercept. And I think he'll look back at that and acknowledge that he should have done better. Wrexham concede an equaliser.
Yeah, very disappointing, but it's Pratley that finds himself again in that little pocket between Brunt and McLean. Really difficult to pick up, and they just leave it in there. And this time Pratley doesn't make a mistake with his cross. He gets it right. Brunt, like you say, maybe could have got a foot on it, but just misses it. But Kelman sharp, wasn't it? Touch and finish right into that bottom corner. Howard no chance. And 1-1.
Yeah, I'm just not sure whether Lewis Brunt's just anticipating that ball maybe to go towards his near post. It's just not quite set up for it to make that clearance properly. But don't take anything away from it from a Leyton Orient point of view. Pratley does ever so well. Like Andy says, he's been a bit of a threat out wide in those sort of areas so far. And Kelman, yeah, what a finish. I think that takes him to double digits for this season.
Yeah, in the league, and he's got a few in the cups as well. So the finish of a good striker. He's another one on loan, of course, from QPR, his second spell at Orient. And they work that loan market really nicely, as now Wrexham are looking to break forwards, and it's Barnett blocking a clearance by Pratley. The ball goes back to Keeley. But yeah, that was a good piece of persistence by Pratley, who a couple of minutes earlier in a similar position had managed to desperately hook across him, and it looked like it was crossing the line. That time, again, he can't really control where it's going that much, but he does well to keep it alive. And Brunt, I think, will be disappointed. He just sneaked a foot out to intercept and seemed to misjudge as Rathbone. That's a good ball to Smith, who protects the ball well, but he's unlucky. He thought Dobson was going to be making a run for him, and he didn't. And as a result, Orients have it back. Their fans in terrific voice now. Kelman chests it down nicely. They're moving it around well in tight little spaces as Wrexham press furiously and force them back into their own half. Happy? Not at the moment. Simpson drives past Rodriguez, skips past McLean. Good tackle in the end by Rathbone. Happy took on too much, and Wrexham are on the break. Rathbone, I think, wanted to deliver the early ball for Rodriguez of Smith through the middle. He just couldn't see the angle, but Wrexham retained possession. Here's Barnett, good movement inside him by James. He goes over the top instead, but Dobson hadn't made that run. And the ball is cleared off Dobson, spinning in the air, flicked on by Sweeney. Cleworth fighting, wins it back well. And now here in the centre of the pitch is Rathbone, helping it on swiftly. Brunt. Wrexham just trying to draw Orient's midfield forwards, and then it's Brunt driving over the top. Smith is chasing a diagonal pass. Flag stays down. Level the edge of the area, left-hand side to McLean. McLean with an exaggerated step over. It doesn't fool Galbraith, and he goes back to the halfway line. Was he miles offside then? I'd imagine it. I don't know. Brunt with the big switch. That's a beauty, and Barnes brought it down nicely. Taking on Sweeney again. Corner of the box. Sweeney sells himself. Left-footed shot, though, is rising off target. Barnett applauds. A glorious pass by Brunt, though.
Yeah, he was miles offside. I thought, the linesman just got it. I don't know what his angles were like, but certainly I felt he was offside, but he does so well just running those channels. And then McLean, they keep it, like you say, a great raking ball by Brunt out to Barnett, and I thought he had a chance to cross it. Cuts back in on his left foot. Just hits it high and wide. But it's certainly a threat, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Wrexham are in a fight here. But we have shown that we can make chances against this Orient side as Keeley walks it out of the box. It's Simpson standing it over the top. Pratley's on the chase. O'Connell is there. Drills it down the line. McLean can't quite handle the bounce, so Perkins gives it away. James is really neat with the way he did that, but he had to pull out the challenge. He was in danger of laying one late on Simpson, and now he's scurrying around trying to win it back, and Wrexham, through their pressure, do force an error, and Rodriguez does ever so well under pressure. Dainty little flick just to draw the contact, and goes down and wins a free kick.
Yeah, it's experienced play. It's really skillful play as well from Rodriguez, who just sort of looked up, didn't really see that option.
Nice free kick. Picks out Rodriguez between the lines, and he works it wide to McLean. That's nice. McLean now taking on Galbraith. Rips it in the cross. Great shape on that. Smith can't quite reach it, and it's hacked away by Brown. The ball came out and hit Brown, stuck, and just for a moment you wondered whether he might be there to be robbed, but he's done well to get it clear. Great ball in by McLean.
Yeah, fantastic from James McLean. He started this game so well. Thought Galbraith had him in an all right position. He whips it in perfectly. It's, on a plate, just dying for someone to make a little late run into that box and just get a toe to it. But no one in that little bit of space.
Brave header by Dobson, and clever play to win the free kick by Smith about 25 yards out.
We're just on the same page. Rodriguez and James, bang, straight away the free kick, they're out. Rodriguez takes a back foot touch, plays McLean in. Like you say, what a cross that is, right in between that corridor. Just blatantly wanting to be diving headed straight in, but just too good. Not got the bodies in the box from that chance, but a good chance to put the ball in this.
So it's level basically with the right side of the box, about 25 yards out. Rathbone stands on it. Orients hold the line on the edge of the box. Ref gives the go-ahead. And he's peering into the crowd. Slipped and nicely headed over. That was a good delivery that. Rodriguez just couldn't keep on top of it as he attacked it about 8 yards out.
Yeah, good delivery. Maybe just a bit close to Rodriguez. He's got to get up over his man. Heads it up over the bar. Maybe just gets enough on it, doesn't he, the defender, to put off Rodriguez, watching the replay there. But just we're talking about how fascinating the way that Leyton Orient play is. But the way that we're setting up to combat it, McLean is just going in with Galbraith. He's just leaving his position and going in with him and saying, no, we're going man for man, and I'm going to try and stop you and be better than you are. What they've got to do is, though, that Brunt, it leaves Brunt a little bit sacrificed because he's got Perkins who comes out wide then, and does he come or does he stay? So many tough decisions to make at a split second that you can get wrong, but at the moment the majority have been right.
Yeah, Perkins staying up the pitch, and he's often available for that pass just to transition into attack. It's a game of cat and mouse. As here now, lovely touch by Rodriguez, who a moment ago as well, a superb touch to pop the ball off as Cleworth looking down the flank. Intercepted though before Smith can latch onto it. Brown scoops it down the line, Cleworth away to the halfway line. It's so adjacent in there, and in the end the ball comes off Rodriguez for a throw to Orient. Left hand side. Thank you so much to Andy Pearce, who has pointed out, of course, that this is the Steve Gilbert derby. Steve, who's from Leytonstone, but a great supporter of Wrexham, supporter of both teams, who did such fabulous work for the Wrexham Disabled Supporters Association. And so yes, this is the Steve Gilbert derby, and thank you very much, Andy, for reminding me of that. Steve, a top bloke, always had a positive word for anybody. He'll be watching it today, and I hope you're enjoying the game, Steve. As here now comes Kelman down the left hand side. He's got Donnelly inside and finds him. Donnelly, he phelps it on rather than shoots, but Perkins now taking on Brunt. Poor ball backwards. Pratley can't take it, and Wrexham will break. Rathbone's got a chance to play Smith in. Maybe he should have done. Nice Zidane turn as compensation for the crowd, and then he beats another man and switches, and Donnelly knocks him down off the ball. But anyway, Barnes is isolated against Sweeney. Dobson is offering inside. He goes outside. Cleworth draws Sweeney to him. Nice little ball into the box. That Rathbone's carried on his run, of course. And now Cleworth, left-footed cross. Smith does well to chest that down. And James just couldn't quite make it on the edge of the area. Good work to keep this moving by Dobson. Heading it to Barnes. He uses his pace and beats Sweeney. Rips it in. Rodriguez can't finish. It's saved from Smith by Keeley. It just sat down in front of Smith, and he couldn't get that shot off quickly enough. And when he did, Keeley made himself big come out, and it's a massive save from a close range shot.
Well, Barnett for the first time goes past Sweeney. It just falls to Smith. Just falls on his right foot, just off balance. Hits it well enough, but straight at Keeley, and he's just able to smother it.
There's now Orient coming at the other end, and Howard, just about in his box, grabs hold of it. He's like a matador then, wasn't he? So just letting them, turning away from the ball.
He took a bit of a risk. It looked quite close to that white line. Bit of heart and mouth moment for a few Wrexham fans. But just touching on that little Ollie Rathbone run as well, just superb dribbling from him.
He had to do all that fancy stuff.
Because he could have just passed it.
Yeah, because Smith was making
They're going to hammer him.
Yeah, the perfect run, wasn't he, in behind? And
I'll
it was
just do
on.
a roulette instead.
Yeah. Yeah, he distracted the crowd really skillfully. 1 minute, everyone's urging him, play it. And then, everyone forgot once he'd done all his skills. Wrexham going down the line then. Smith can't quite hold the ball up, outnumbered. The ball goes back to Keeley. It's another one of those games where you just feel these are two good teams. Happy going back to Keeley, the keeper. And Orient, in a rare little calm moment, feed it down the right. No calm now because Pratley's got away from Rathbone. Lots of space right side the box, and he overhits his cross horribly. He obviously needs to be struggling to keep it in to cross accurately, doesn't he? Because with all that time, he's just stuck it out for a throw-in on the far side.
Yeah, but he spotted that space again, and that's definitely something that's going to get highlighted at half-time, I think. Just sort of Wrexham not sure who's sticking with who at times when they're making those movements, those blue shirts, and this time luckily he does get that cross wrong, but another warning sign that he's finding that space so easily.
Well, McLean is going with Galbraith, which means Brunt has to go with Perkins, which leaves a massive hole behind him. So either O'Connell has to come across and fill that void, or your midfielder has to match that run. And this time it's Rathbone. He just doesn't see it early enough, but he's got 3 in there already. So they've just got bodies everywhere. Very difficult. Maybe Brunt has to just hold his position, not be as aggressive, and just stay in his slot. Because you can always defend from the front, but if they get behind you, there's trouble.
Brunt there, pinging it over the top, and for a second I thought it was going to carry through and put Smith in, but it was intercepted. Rodriguez can't hang on to it. Pratley knocks it forwards. O'Connell nods it down, but Orient pick it up, and that's a great ball to Kelman, who tries a first-time shot. Great challenge by O'Connell, who committed and got the block in. Brunt with the neat ball to Rathbone. Nice turn around the corner. James chips it. A ball for Smith to run on to. Ref says that's not enough contact as he goes to ground. Happy had his hands on his arm, but I'm inclined to see it the ref's way there, I think. As Simpson comes out from the back.
But it's on, isn't it? On that transition, well kept in the midfield. I think if Smith just gets maybe another yard ahead, then it is a free kick, but they're shoulder to shoulder. I think he just eases him out the way. And not a foul for me.
Yeah, Happy was cute enough, I thought, then, just to hold him off. But like you say, it's on, isn't it? Smith's making those runs. And Wrexham could easily profit from one as the ball ricochets out to the left. McLean now 35 yards out has got Rathbone making a run. Wasn't the pass he was expecting. Pratley made a good challenge, but James picks it up. McLean now on the left, turns back inside. Good tackle by Donnelly. Throw 10 yards into the Orient half, left-hand side. Throw in taken and touched on nicely by Rodriguez. Smith hooks it back over the defender to McLean, who under a lot of pressure wins a throw-in. 25 yards out on the left. McLean now. As Rathbone and Pratley are shoving each other around. Throw towards the corner flag. Smith can't quite get there. Brown intercepts. Throw into Wrexham, level the edge of the box now. You had a question I'll get to a hard time about what qualifies as a long throw. Well, yeah. If we had Tozer now, the crowd would be getting very loud as the return ball by Rathbone to McLean isn't the best, but it's poor defending by Galbraith. And, well, McLean comes out with the ball, but wins the corner. Whether he was fouled or not, a different question. Wrexham get the corner anyway.
Yeah, it looked a bit clumsy, didn't it, from Galbraith? I'm not sure whether James McLean actually just trips himself over Galbraith himself as well, actually, but does well to keep it alive, keep that pressure on and get the corner out of it.
So Rathbone with the in-swinger. Wrexham got Smith on the keeper. 3 players lurking on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's crowded in there. First defender heads it clear. McLean pops it back to Dobson. Dobson stands it straight back in. Looks to be pushing her back. Referee gives it. I mean, it was one of those, it's not an awful lot of contact, but it's just daft to make it so obvious, isn't it, really?
Well, normally you hold them at arm's length and you keep them because you keep that distance to see. But I don't know why I'm doing it because you can't see me, but...
I can see you.
Okay, you know what I mean. But he's just 2-arm push to create that gap, that distance to head it, and gives Rathbone another great opportunity from where Rodriguez had his chance before.
So Rathbone now with that free kick again. 2 added minutes to be played. Rathbone signals Orient are creeping up just a little bit higher than last time. Hoping maybe to play McLean, who's in the middle offside, as he shoves around with Williams. Ball's floated in invitingly to the far post. Good header by Pratley. O'Connell, though, on the left, in slow motion rather, tries to take on Perkins. His cross is blocked. A good pullback, and James hits it. Ricochets in the goal mouth. Rodriguez can't quite get there, and it's launched away in the end. Wow. O'Connell on the left again. Tries to be a winger. This time his touch off his chest a bit too strong. And Galbraith, good ball, picks up the one man up there. Kelman, good awareness, the hooker over his shoulder. But guess who's tracked the run? Rathbone, of course, nodding it back to Howard.
Well, it just wouldn't fall, would it? Really good ball by O'Connell back into the box. First time shot by Matty James, gets blocked, but it's bouncing around. You think Rodriguez might get a chance, but he doesn't.
Wrexham over the top again. Smith is onside. Awkward bounce for him, but he holds on to it in the box, hits the shot. Good block. Rodriguez can't go to challenge because he'd run into an offside position. Rathbone, though, looking to head it wide to McLean. Can't get enough on it. Wrexham really asking questions in the closing stages here. Brunt, nice step over, pulls it back. Less than 30 seconds left of the half. O'Connell trying to drill it through the middle, but again, Smith running inside, behind, as that could be a card for Dobson as he sprints back, and he was never going to let his man get away from him. It is a yellow. But yeah, again, Smith staying on side, making those little diagonal runs in behind, causing problems.
Yeah, again, I just wasn't sure whether he could take it a little bit earlier. I think the defender does well in the end. I think it was Happy who just makes sure he's never quite on balance to get that shot away. And then, yeah, George Dobson, I think, always destined to get a yellow in that situation, just made sure Williams wasn't going anywhere.
But those balls through to Smith have seemed to be checking a lot. You know, the backspin on him has like been stopping rather than skidding through. I think they'll be ringing Chally. Get some water on that pitch, will you, for the second half, because then those balls they'd skid through a little bit and maybe into his path.
Well, we played 30 seconds over the added 2 minutes. The referee will allow time for the free kick. Just lifted in towards the edge of the box, headed back towards the edge of the area, and the referee has had enough and blows up. And not literally, that would be horrible. And so, well, you can join Andy and Mia now at half-time on our YouTube channel to hear their analysis of the game. I'll go through your Ask Wrexham comments and questions, but that was a high-quality first half, I thought. 1-1, and I thought you could really see why Orient are roaring up the table. But by the same token, you know, this Wrexham side exudes experience, and the technical side of it has gone up a bit. So yeah, it's a fascinating first half, and it'd be very interesting to see how it goes. I may have gone very interesting then by accident. That was Freudian, because I just looked down and saw that Ran has put up a gif on Ask Wrexham of Rathbone casually putting in a shift, but it's a horse neighing as it. You know, working in an office. Yeah, he is a worker, isn't he? Fair play. There was a beautiful Ask Wrexham message from Nevertheless. Oh, I see. Jen, I can't read all of this, sadly. But Nevertheless has generously fixed it for me. So Jen's has a Venn diagram and shows that the intersection of here, there, and every bleeping where is Ollie Rathbone, which Jen has generously altered around to here, there, and everywhere, just to clean it up for the young folks who are listening. But that was terrific, that half. Man, I enjoyed myself there. I mean, not as much as I did on Sunday. That's why you may have detected my voice is a bit rough. Well, I enjoyed Saturday a lot. I enjoyed Wrexham beating Swansea 5-0 on Sunday a lot, even more. It was unbelievable. What a performance. And the fact that then yesterday, Mrs. G and I took Andy Parkinson of Final Whistle Weekly, his kids, our grandchildren, our God's children, who hope she's not listening, our godchildren out 10-pin bowling yesterday. And the thing is that when you act the ghost, something I like to do, and you set a certain level of acting the ghost, you need to keep it going. And as a result of the 2 games and then that, my throat is absolutely raw, I'm telling you. But I've got this far, and I can lie down in a darkened room tomorrow, can't I? Right, now then, let's have a little look free. See more things. I've seen a few good things on Ask Wrexham. Nevertheless, it just anticipates that. I hear a bit of raspy hoarseness in Mark's voice today. Someone please deliver a hot beverage and a scarf to our fearless leader. Well, firstly, correct adjective. Well done. Secondly, I have a scarf. A hot beverage would be good, wouldn't it? Oh, imagine if a Bovril suddenly appeared. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Well, maybe Neil's going to join me. Sometimes he does a half-time, doesn't he? And if he hasn't got a hot drink in his hand, I'm going to reject him. I'm going to tell him to go away. it is, like I said, the 10-pin bowling. Look, there was an advert for like food on next to the scoreboards, and I had a picture of a guy with his mouth wide open, and I was saying to little Bella, 4-year-old goddaughter, that guy's laughing at me every time I play. She liked this, and so we had to scream at him every time he appeared on the screen. I didn't, my throat didn't benefit from that, and especially after the Swansea game, where how can I put this? I wasn't happy with some things that happened at the end of that game, and I maybe enjoyed the goals a little bit too much. I was a bit shouty. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Wrexham reader saying Ollie Rathbone putting on a show again in this game. Absolutely. The Messi coda, oof, my nerves can't take it. I know it is on a knife edge, isn't it? I really appreciate Orient. They are a good side. They're asking questions of us. But we are also looking good. We're making more chances. Cryptic, now this is what I was looking at. Cryptic says, if a manager's banned from the touchline and has to be in the stands, is he allowed to communicate with the bench? Now then, I heard something the other day going through this. I reckon, I'm sure I've seen people with phones and stuff. I think it's that you're not allowed into the, you're not allowed into the changing room before, during and after, which is possibly a bit old-fashioned, isn't it? It's possibly, something that they should have changed as time's gone on, and modern technology has made being present redundant if you want to communicate with somebody. But I'm pretty sure you can communicate. I think. Unless it's a stadium ban, which is different, of course. But yeah, I reckon. I may be wrong. I'm going to have a think about this now. Going to have to search it. Kelly says, I may have missed something. Who's the man they keep zooming in on in the crowds? Well, I've seen a couple of times. If you look next to that man, it's Paul Mullen. I reckon, if you've seen the same thing. Oh, Bryn Endicott also, is it legal in the AFL for a suspended manager to wear a headset while watching from the stands? As in from a North American point of view, where they aren't allowed in the stadium while serving suspension. I need to double check this. This is one of those things I thought I knew the answer to, and when I started giving the answer, realised I didn't have much confidence in what I was saying. That's shameful, isn't it? Let's have a look. There was another one I wanted to bring up. Oh, I can do that on the Arse Wrexham podcast. I'll record that tomorrow, if my throat doesn't give out. Oh my word, Kelly is watching the game in the library. Oh, my page just refreshed. Where's it gone? In the library, using headphones. Phew, that's a release. There's a vocal I usually am during Wrexham games, trying hard to rein it in. Oh yeah, there's a good one. That good subject, isn't it? When you had to try and be quiet and well behaved while supporting your team. Ruby Slippers says, oh, I'd be kicked out. Jeannie Troll just says, shh. Nice. Ken Priest, I wonder what the analytics say about heading the ball in the field of play outside of the box. To me, it doesn't seem very successful moving towards the goal. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get less accuracy because you can't look at your targets, can you, as you would if you're passing with your foot. Although it's something I've always quite enjoyed when you see a player be cute and try and place a header because they've got a picture in their head of where their teammates are. So I always enjoy that. Kelly also asked, why are so many players slipping? It's frustrating. We've seen a bit of that lately, haven't we? And I don't feel I can give any particular reason for it. I mean, as Andy said in the commentary, we may want to water the pitch a little bit to make the bounce die down for Smith when he's running in on things. And looking down at it, it's hard to judge a pitch from this distance, but it looks dryish to me. T83 Stan says, good day from San Diego. Supposed to be working, but watching Wrexham on the sly. Well done. Absolutely, you're doing the right thing. Jen, I like that. The pace of this game so far, I'm afraid to look away. And has a picture, a gif of Dark Bucket from Spaceballs. There's a reference for you, saying ludicrous speed, go. That was it, that was their equivalent to warp speed, wasn't it? Oh man, Rick Moranis as Dark Bucket. I don't think I've ever mentioned Rick Moranis in a commentary before. Simon Johnson says, dem bones, dem raff bones, hear the word of the Lord. Absolutely. Let's have a little look. There was another one, I can't remember what it was now. Let's have a little look. Oh, Matthew Elliff asked, I remember it now. I haven't found it yet, but I remember it. Asked, what does... oh, look out, Neil's here. Hang on, I'll just finish off talking to Matthew's question. He said, what does Rex do during the game? Well, during the game, Rex goes into town and he steals from people's houses. The fans who are at the ground, of course, they never know. They just find some red felt in the front room.
I thought he went to look after his egg.
Oh, right. Oh, it's Easter, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, doesn't he? Oh, he's having a great time now by the corner flag in front of the quiet section, waving the corner flag to the song "Wave Your Flag." Oh man, tell you what, that's literal dancing at its best, isn't it?
Dad dancing.
Dad dance. Why, has the egg hatched?
Pardon?
Has the egg hatched?
Well, more than likely.
Fair enough. They do that. Have your pigs ever laid eggs?
No, but they had babies again tonight.
Tonight? Oh, wow. How many? Oh, no. You know, the question I want to ask you, I'm not sure if I can say it. I'm not going to say it.
7 new babies.
Oh, that cute. I'm moving on. That was a fun first half, wasn't it, Neil?
It was. It took a little bit of game going. First 10 minutes. Not a lot created by either team, and then we scored that wonder goal with a thunderbolt from Rathbone from a superb corner.
Thunderbolt?
Yeah.
What, 2 feet out?
Yeah, but he just followed it in, didn't he?
Yeah.
It landed straight on his foot and straight in the back of the net.
Yeah,
Superb.
Great delivery, wasn't it, by McLean?
Oh, superb. And then they go and score. They did have 10 minutes where they were a little bit more on top, and they're dangerous down this wing, Mark, in front of us here.
They're right, yeah. Perkins is, of course, the issues. Pratley's overloading with him.
Yeah.
And we need to keep an eye on that, don't we? I think, but then Parkinson can get him in now and maybe address that.
Yeah, I mean, again, they had 10 minutes of the game where they were dominant and they created a lot more and they scored in that time, but after that, Wrexham came back into the game and had a couple of good chances. One with a header, I think, by...
Rodriguez had a header, didn't he?
Yeah, but that was straight to keeper. And then Sam Smith had that wonderful chance, 5 or 6 yards out, but again, he shot straight to the keeper. So, Wrexham have played really well. I knew before tonight it's going to be a really tough game because Orient haven't lost away for a couple of months. I think since last October they lost.
That's right, yeah.
So they were going to be a difficult team to break down, and they're very, very quick on the break.
I like this. Ask Wrexham. Steve says, Happy, the centre-back for Orient, looks like he can play a forward on an NBA team. He looks like he can do whatever the heck he wants and no one's going to stop him. They've got some big lads in their team, haven't they?
Oh, they have in their defence, yeah. They've got some... And fast as well. So I think we have to address this issue on the right wing where we're leaving them wide open with that ball over the top. Parky has to address that at half-time. But all in all, Mark, I'm a happy Wrexham fan at the moment.
Absolutely. We're up against a good team and we're playing well as well, aren't we? Absolutely. Ruby Slippers, by the way, on the subject of Dan Happy, says, OK, I checked, he's saying happy, but it's spelled H-A-P-P-E. Couldn't have been easy growing up with that name. Well, I reckon, when you're as big as him, it probably was. Probably most things were straightforward growing up, the size of him. Yes, I always thought it shouldn't be Happy because it's obviously some sort of German name. But having said that, that is how he's pronounced by Orient, and he doesn't seem to have corrected them. So fair enough. He's a Pharrell Williams tribute centre back. I'll just let that one sit there, Neil.
I'll let it sit there too, Mark.
A. Fennell. Asking about the BAFTAs, obviously the big subject at the moment in Britain is that, the Final Whistle Weekly didn't win a BAFTA last night. The whole nation is on fire over this calumny. And A Fennell asks, would my commentary of the BAFTAs be better than David Tennant's hosting? I mean, yeah, obviously.
Were you invited, Mark, were you?
I was not even invited, and that makes it 2 years in a row.
Wow.
2 years in a row I've not been invited. I mean, if you wanted to hear my commentary on the BAFTAs, you could have pressed the red button. It wouldn't have been there, but you could have phoned me up and I'd just screamed. I know, it's unbelievable, isn't it? We need to start setting fire to stuff. The French would.
No, they definitely would.
Yeah, too right.
How did the bowling go yesterday, Mark?
Oh, the bowling, that's why I've got a sore throat.
Shouting at your bowl as you're going down there?
Occasionally.
Down the alleyway?
Shouting at a picture of a bloke in an advert who appeared to be laughing at my inept play. Man, I was more gutterball than anything else. It was spectacular.
Did you have a little ramp to let the ball go down as well?
Let the ball going down?
Yeah, like the kids do,
Deflating.
Let it go.
Oh no, ref, this bowling ball is definitely gone flat. It's a nightmare. Right, Neil is running. He'll be back to do a bit of quib and teveling later, I'm sure. And Mia and Andy are back up now from the side of the pitch. And Wrexham are out as well. Orient not yet. Mitch PDX asked a question an hour ago. The answer is yes. Why was I introducing the Wycombe game? It wasn't a mistake. Matthew Elliff, quite right. Interesting, they're playing Anarchy in the UK. I don't hear this song much. It's a corker, isn't it? And Wrexham used to sing it a lot. I don't know if I hear it quite so much now. They sing, I am a Wrexham fan, I am North Walian to it. I want to be Wrexham FC. Lovely. Actually, we're not quite ready to kick off. Matthew is also asking, I have no idea still what the racecourse looks like. Well, from our position, obviously the pitch in front of us, to the far side, you have a wide stand with a sort of curved roof at the top, which drops down, and two curves a little bit lower down. Got quite a rectangular, angular-looking stand to our right behind the goal. And then to the left is a temporary stand, so there's no roof, but there's about 20 rows of seats. I should do that more at the end of the game, Matthew, for you, if you want. As Wrexham restart, Cleworth knocks it long. And here's Barnett now, taking on Sweeney. Immediately Orient swarming around Barnett, who is unlucky, tries the turn. He wanted a free kick. Sweeney may have caught him. And when the ball's driven forward, Kelman controls it with his arm. No dissent from him there. But you can immediately see their threat as well, because if it hadn't been handball, Perkins again is staying up the pitch on the right. He's available. It would be 2-on-2, straightforward switch, and we'd be opened up a bit. So again, that setup they've got asks questions. Cleworth chips the free kick in, testing one, and Brown doesn't deal with it. Smith nods it in the goal mouth. Rathbone's shot is blocked by Pratley, who did well to track Rathbone, just as Rathbone's been doing to him in the first half. Here's Barnett again. Wrexham starting the half well. His cross takes a deflection, spins into the box. Brown is there first, and he pounds it over the top, but Kelman has got the pace to get in behind O'Connell. He's got no support, gets in the box left-hand side, and O'Connell does well to tackle him. Corner.
Well, Mark,
that's two halves. I've left your mic off at the start.
It's just a simple clearance, isn't it? Straight up the pitch, but it puts O'Connell in a race. And that's somewhere he doesn't want to be, especially with Kelman. Kelman does ever so well, but O'Connell recovers well again, but put straight from one box to the other, puts it out for a corner.
In swinger from the left-hand side. As Wrexham have left Smith 30 yards up the pitch. It's swept into the goal mouth. Howard, good punch. Donnelly has got time as he retrieves it on the right-hand side. Sweeps it back in, left-footed. Brunt heads it clear. Williams works it square, though, and he's making a nice run in behind. Galbraith uses it as a decoy and chips a tester in on Brunt. Nods it into the goal mouth, and luckily for Wrexham, Cleworth was there to hook it clear. If Brunt, I assume, didn't get a shout, because he could have left that, I think, to go for a goal kick. But he puts it right in the goal mouth.
Yeah, well, you think he just ducks under it, really. But instead, he heads it back into his 6-yard box, which puts danger. But clearance thankfully hooked out, and then Rodriguez manages to get it and get a free kick for us.
It's Orient now at the back after Howard tried a quick free kick. It was a nice idea looking for Smith, who couldn't quite make the ball stick up front. Sweeney plays it forward, and it's helped down the flank and kept in really well by Williams. Barnett slides in but can't come out with the ball, and it's squared inside. Donnelly chance to shoot, drills it, and Howard's managed to save. Wow, I don't know how he saved that, because he was unsighted. And the ball has ricocheted away, but Orient suddenly getting at Wrexham in the box. O'Connell heading it clear. Dobson helps it on well. Smith surely's offside. He can't get to it anyway. Although a poor touch by Sweeney has put a bit of pressure on Simpson, who has to launch it away long. Wrexham just need to get themselves together a bit after a rough minute. Nicely brought down by Rodriguez. He's looking for Smith, but Happy did well just to get in the way of him and wouldn't allow him to sprint past.
No, he does really well, Rodriguez, and then just puts it the wrong side. Smith's just gone the other way and just makes it difficult with the ball over the top.
Wrexham now trying to come out from the back. Barnett early ball looking for the feet of Smith, but he doesn't pick him out. It was well read by Simpson. And Orient again now coming forwards. Galbraith working it down the line. Perkins once more gets to the corner of the box. McLean forcing him away from goal. Galbraith feeds it in. A little bit of space for Donnelly, who lays it back nicely. Perkins tries the shot. Is it a corner? Yes, it is. Good work to block that, stepping out from the back by Dobson.
They've just got players everywhere though, haven't they? When they get on the ball with a little bit of time in that midfield, they've got runners from midfield going all over. They've got wide men stepping inside. It's Donnelly this time right into that pocket, because Brunt's been dragged out. Little set, but Dobson comes out and does well.
In swinger again then. Lots of movement in the 6-yard box. Cleworth having to stick to Perkins. Ball swept to the near post, and it's a good header by Rodriguez. Volleyed back in, and it's a goal. What a goal that is. Donnelly with his left foot. The header came out, and it was smashed in. Wrexham are protesting furiously though. And the referee is listening to his headset. The linesman's obviously saying something, but the linesman's halfway up the pitch, so I can't see that he's going to be disallowing it. What a hit that was, though, by Donnelly. I'm not sure, though, what Wrexham are protesting about, but they're furious, certainly.
No, I'm not sure, but full credit to Donnelly yet again, showing his talent on that ball. What a strike. It just drops so nicely for him. He's got red shirts rushing out as well. Mark Howard hasn't got a chance, I don't think. It's a great strike, great finish. And you can't say they haven't deserved that after the start they've made in this first 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Great technique, coming high, dropping out the sky. Just manages to keep it down. Nobody around though. Not sure what they're shouting for. Maybe bodies in Mark Howard's way. But they're onside.
Well, here's Rodriguez now looking to break forwards. His cross is blocked though. It ricocheted off him last. So Dobson, he's let it roll out. So I thought it did. Decision goes Wrexham's way. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm just trying to see myself, but my connection's gone a bit strange, so I can't get a picture up of the goal. But Wrexham, I mean, it was a concerted complaint by Wrexham, but we're 2-1 down as the ball is headed clear by Happy. Barnett hooking it on. Smith again looking to sprint in behind Happy. Volleys it away. Throw in 30 yards out to Wrexham. The crowd looking to get behind their team. Barnett with the ball in his hands. But, well, like I say, Donnelly is such a talent and has been so impressive for Orient. And, wow, that was a hell of a strike as Rodriguez as well to nod it down the edge of the area. Dobson's tackled, though. Sweeney put under pressure. Clears, but only as far as Cleworth. Cleworth feeding it down the line. Rodriguez as well on the stretch to help it on to Barnett. Barnett taking on Sweeney. Cuts inside. Good tackle by Sweeney. And he'll come away with the ball. Feeds it short. Cleworth steps up well to get his legs in and put out for the throw-in. Yeah, Wrexham behind.
I just think if we could give Brian Barnett a little bit of a hand when he's out on 1v1, maybe just come out to the point, maybe he could play a couple past him and little 1-2, or just play it into the box. He doesn't have to beat him, and then that'll just put a second thought in Sweeney's head, and then it might just give him that opportunity to go past him.
I'm wondering, looking at the goal, if it's a complaint about the corner coming in. Cleworth is trying to attack us at the near post. There've been a lot of shirt pulling between him and the man he's marking before the ball came in, and Cleworth went to ground as he tried to win the header. It was touched on by an Orient player to Donnelly. I wonder if that's what Wrexham are complaining about as Dobson wins the header. Rodriguez, 25 yards out, slips over. Dobson's done well to win that back and is tackled well by Pratley. James tries to step in, but Brown gets through. And a ball drops in the centre circle, and Perkins has space to run through the middle. Looking for Kelman. Brunt is there, intercepts well, and great strength. Holds off Galbraith and goes surging forwards himself, plays it in, and nearly puts Smith clear. He may have been offside as the ball is knocked forwards, and now Galbraith suddenly is in space on the right, feeds it into the box near post. Perkins' return pass isn't the best. It ricochets out, and McLean just about digs out a pass to Rodriguez. He chips it forward. Smith charging after it, but Keeley's come out of the box very calm. Feeds the ball forwards. And while Wrexham have got to be conscious as we try to react to that goal, that Orient could catch us out here. They look very good as they're breaking forwards. Yeah,
but it's just lit a touch paper as well underneath Wrexham as well in this second half. Constantly looking for Smith down those sides. Rodriguez just overhitting that one, but we've got to still offer that threat. And then let's have a little bit more quality on the ball.
Long ball down the flank. O'Connell volleys it clear, but it's a clever flick back in by Williams, and Kelman's taking it well. Driving in the box, he looks for the killer pass. It's too close to Howard, who gets that ahead of Perkins. That could have been 3 though. And straight away Howard bowls it out. McLean has got Rodriguez making a great run. And he underhits the pass. I like that. Rodriguez just stepped back and then ran in behind Simpson. McLean hesitated with the pass, and when he played it, didn't get it right.
Yeah, just on the Orient attack though, again, it's off that second ball. They're just that little bit sharper, just making sure if they don't win that first, they're right on that second and then putting us on the back foot.
Yeah, it's a testing little spell, this, for Wrexham. As the throw-in is taken, Wrexham coming forwards. McLean wins another throw, level the edge of the area. And as the ball in his hands once more, throws it back into midfield. Brunt to O'Connell in his own half. Cleworth now. Orient stepping out. Williams comes to Cleworth on the edge of the Wrexham box. He goes back to Howard. And Howard onto his left foot. Drills it through the middle. McLean helps it on, puts it behind Rodriguez, and Brown intercepts. Flicks it out wide. Williams chasing eagle. He can't get there. Throw in on the halfway line. The Orient bench very animated, getting information across to their players as the throw-in's taken. Rodriguez turns nicely and goes driving forwards, looks for an expansive ball, doesn't quite get enough on it. Galbraith intercepts as McLean tries to get onto it. And now Orient again are looking to break away. They look so dangerous. Did I mention they got a great away record? Here though, Wrexham though, feeding it forwards, and between the lines, McLean is able to help it backwards. Ooh, Brunt took a risk there, but just about got away with it, riding the challenger Donnelly. Cleworth, chips over the top, but nobody's going to be able to get on the end of that. Frustration from the crowds. Keeley is going to force Smith to come to him to make him pick the ball up. Now jogs up the pitch, looking for options. Drops it on the floor. Hits it right-footed. He's looking for Williams. Cleworth tight to him. The ball squeezes between the two of them. Barnett keeps it in and knocks it over the top. Well intercepted by Simpson, who clears to the halfway line. Barnett does well to win that. Now Matty James now pulls it back, switching play across to Brunt, who helps it quickly onto McLean on the halfway line. Smith's wanting it over the top once more. McLean instead inside to James. It's Dobson in the centre circle. Wrexham just drawing Orient out, and then Brunt goes for the killer ball. Looking for Smith, just too much on it. Keeley gets there first. Smith throws his head back in frustration, but you know, when we're patient, we wait for them to make that run. It's coming, you feel that they're going to find him. As Brown, that's a good ball over the right hand side. Pratley runs onto it, picks it up, neat first time pass to Brown, who pings a great ball into the edge of the area. Donnelly helps her on. Important header clear by Barnes, covering round the side as Williams got up into the middle of the box. And Rathbone clears long. Smith is isolated, wins a good header. Was he clattered into from behind? Well, it's a clash of heads, and again, the ref is slow to stop play, but eventually he does.
Well, I think he's landed on Smith, which is Smith's up and hobbling, but
yeah,
I think he's happy, not in a good way.
Yeah, they're calling the physio on now, but yeah, whether it was an awkward landing of Simpson.
Yeah, Simpson, sorry.
Wrexham are sending more subs to warm up alongside Marius and Fletcher as the players come in to get some tactical advice and refreshment. But yeah, I mean, Orient have really come out impressively, haven't they, and had a real go at us.
Yeah, it was a really good move just before this clash of heads, wasn't it? And I think Ryan Barnett actually does really well to get in that position and get that header in to clear that ball out of Wrexham's box. Because again, Orient just causing that backline problems. Kelman again just gets that ball absolutely fizzed into him, does ever so well to get it under his control.
Well, he's limping heavily, Simpson. He's up, but limping heavily. On Ask Wrexham, by the way, Daniel Esteban Moore says it's a small thing, but when I say Andy and Mia on YouTube, when you go down at half-time, he just hears Andy and me. Please, maybe swap it to Mia and Andy for us poor Americans. Well, I've got a better idea. Mia, could you change your name, please? Andy and Steve. That would work, wouldn't it?
Sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much. I'll expect the paperwork to be coming through in the morning. So, Simpson he looks like he's struggling, should I say. He's coming off very slowly. The long way. And, well, yeah, they're calling in a sub. He's shaking his head, talking to the physio. And the ball is given back to Orient, and Galbraith puts a bit of action on that ball down the flank, and Orient pick her up, and it's an important interception by O'Connell, throw by the corner flag.
Maybe offside again, I thought possibly. Linesman looking right along it after the little flick, but not given. They just look to help it round the corner, don't they? All the time, constantly just help it over, help put it on them. Any first time balls that are dropping, they just push over the top because they know they're 3 for 3, so we've got every chance if they put it in the space with the pace that they have.
As they swing it across to the far post, Simpson's limped back onto the pitch just as his sub is ready to replace him. Ball played back into midfield. Brown 30 yards out wide again. Sweeney cuts in. Orient protecting the ball well under 10 men. Brown hooks it in, and Donnelly's managed to get there, turns and hits a long range shot just wide. He got away from James there and didn't need the second invitation. The fans a bit concerned by what they've seen in the last 5 minutes, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, it's Donnelly again, isn't it? It's just like Andy said on the goal he scored. Technical quality is just there for all to see. Just drags the shot wide that time. But now Simpson is coming off.
So Simpson limps back off the pitch. The Wrexham fans are giving him the bird, and he'll be replaced by Rahmani Edmonds-Green, who started at centre-back alongside Simpson on Saturday. Howard with the goal kick then. 2-1 down Wrexham, 62nd minute. Howard drills it right-footed. Pratley heads it back over the top, and Kelman, as we've seen, is a willing chaser, holds it well on the right flank. Wrexham are struggling to get hold of the ball at the moment. Good challenge that by Rathbone, but McLean overhits his pass, and it's not just the crowd who are unhappy. Parkinson was furious then, coming out to the sides of the pitch.
Well, it's just that pass, that forward pass that last in the first half that we played well, but with a bit of spin on it. They've just drilled a couple, a little bit overhit, and it's obviously gone through to the goalkeeper, and they're getting a bit frustrated with that because Smith is still making that run. Just need that quality ball into him.
Cleworth wins a good header. Pratley, though, is physically dominant, knocks over the top, and Williams again. Here's that pace, he's got past Cleworth, but then slips over. Cleworth is foot in, no, only gives it to Donnelly, he sweeps in the cross. Brunt heads it away, McLean on the edge of the area, nice little first touch, buys him a bit of space, he lays it backwards to Rathbone. The fans are complaining, but to be fair, I mean, there were a lot of Wrexham players behind McLean, and he didn't fancy just squandering possession. Rodriguez does Smith does ever so well there. Ball fed forwards outside the foot by Rathbone. He draws a free kick on the halfway line.
Yeah, well, I think the complaints from the last time he put it over the top maybe put him off doing it that time.
Marriott's just gone running back into the dugout, and Wrexham do seem to be getting some paperwork done. Fourth officials chatting with Steve Parkin. Cleworth feeds it back to Howard. The keeper hits it long. Smith up against the substitute, and it's headed away well by Edmonds Green.
Well, since the goal, it's just knocked us a little bit, hasn't it? We've just not been able to get the ball down and play. Every time Leyton Orient get it, the ball forwards is sticking with their strikers, and then when we get it back, we're just giving it away a little bit too cheaply. We need to make a couple of passes, get our wing backs up the pitch again like we were doing in the first half.
Well, Fletcher and Cannon are ready to come on as the throw-in's taken. Edmonds Green heads it out of play. Beckerman happy it is, and the change, is it going to be made? Looks like not just yet. Barnett with the ball in his hands will take this throw. Throws it back to the halfway line to Cleworth. O'Connell now. Wrexham fans in a Stoke cold brew coffee end are encouraged by the sight of Fletcher and Cannon as Howard's clearance goes over Barnett's head. And so here comes this early change, and Rodriguez is the first player to come off. Fletcher comes on, and he now will combine with Smith. That's an intriguing pairing. Cannon is going to come on for Dobson. I'm a little surprised at Rodriguez coming off. I thought he was looking quite bright in the passes he was trying to do, the way he was trying to feed Smith. But different challenge now, most certainly.
Yeah, I thought they might have gone to Dobson, dropping back in. Maybe Matty James coming off for Cannon. Cannon obviously gives you a bit more of a threat. We need to get our midfielders forward. We're not getting them at all past the strikers like we were doing at Northampton.
Here's Perkins now. He's got an overlap and looks to play it. McLean gets a foot in, but it goes behind for the corner. As Ryan Longman's jogging back to the dugout. So Wrexham first have to negotiate this. Edmonds Green, the centre-back, just runs across to the dugout to get instruction and then comes jogging into the box, hoping to evade detection. Williams will take the corner, an away swinger. Wrexham have everyone back defending. Donnelly lurks again on the edge of the box. As Williams signals, Smith's gone to pick up at the far post, so there's 2 marking 3 on the edge. The ball's played in, nasty good take by Howard, but he has no real target up front. He's trying to get forward to deliver, but he can't get through the crowd. Rolls it out in the end to Cleworth. Cleworth down the line, good ball to Barnett, who flicks it on with his head. Cannon accelerating, forces Brown to put it out of play. Brown has covered a lot of ground. It's a track runners, done a good job defensively for Orient as Barnett throws it down the line. Smith now. Good piece of work by Happy, just managed to stoop ahead of him and head it away from him. It's cleared, Cleworth knocks it back in. Fletcher will get there first, little flick over himself, but then he can't bring it down on the other side, and Perkins brings it down. The switch is a good idea by Galbraith, and Williams wins a good header. O'Connell plays it back to Howard, and Howard drills it clear. Wrexham just lacking a bit of pattern since the goal, lacking possession of course since the goals. James wins a good header, Barnett helps it on cleverly, Smith, good instincts, hooks it on looking for Fletcher, just under headset, and Edmonds Green is able to get rid. Brunt, deep in his own half, turns, the crowd urging Wrexham on. James now, back to Howard. Howard's right-footed, drilling it through the middle, but now Smith rather peels away from it and doesn't challenge. Cleworth heads it back into midfield. Cannon's really battling away, and he was fouled. Free kick. Taken quickly by Rathbone. Cannon, immediately under pressure. Nice footwork. Finds Barnett. Barnett looks to go around the outside of Sweeney. Sweeney sticks with him well. Barnett pirouettes back on his left foot. Drills in the cross. Diving header clear by Happy. Matty James on the edge of the box. Gets there first but can't keep hold of it. Good work by Barnett to challenge back, and the throw-in goes Orient's way. But we need a bit more control of this, don't we, at the moment? It was good to hear the home end behind Orient's goal making such noise, because in the Wrexham Lager stand it's gone a bit fractious, I feel. You know, players playing a backward pass, people getting on their backs, which isn't very helpful, as there's a long way to go in this game. Rathbone in his own half feeds it back to Howard, and Howard again just like takes something off it to find Smith, who flicks it on well. Fletcher won't get to it though. Edmonds Green heads it clear. Rathbone can't win it in the air. Donnelly's not just a talented player, he's a bit of a unit as well. He's now challenging for the second ball, and he's managed to help it onto Brown. Cannon looks to foul him, not given. The Orient bench furious. Good vision by O'Connell, quickly feeds it to the left. McLean is closed down. Brunt now deep in his own half, weighing up his options. Cleworth to Barnett, and Barnett again. Sweeney just stepping up. Caught him late there, did he? Barnett's gone down hurt. Slightly surprised the ref hasn't spoken to him yet. In fact, it's Brown who's going to get a yellow card for dissent, it looks like. And the ref went to his back pocket. He was complaining about the free kick that wasn't given earlier, but he doesn't give him a yellow. Well, I don't know.
Well, I think Wrexham just need to be a little bit braver. A few too many times we've just chosen that safe pass and not breaking those lines.
Ball forwards, Fletcher flicks it on, but Galbraith hooks it clear. It's cleared further by Perkins.
Yeah, it just feels like we're desperate to score straight away. You know, our first thought is play forward, let's get it forward, take a touch, make a pass, drag a few people out of position, then you can go.
As Fletcher drops offside, yeah, we're just not getting it going. And I do feel the crowd have gone a bit impatient too early. Everything that isn't done quickly is drawing murmurs from the crowd. I don't think we need that, really. Like I said, there's still a good 20 minutes left of this game. As Orient's preparing a double sub, which they'll make now. Daniel Ajayi is going to come on. And off comes Sonny Perkins. Quite happy to see the back of him, to be honest. He's done well down the right for them. The other substitute, Perkins, taking an eternity to walk off. Referee turns his back on him and allows it to continue. The other substitute is Azim Abdullahi. It'll be a while before we find out who's coming on for those. Finally, Perkins leaves the pitch. And it's going to be Williams as well. So the two wide attackers taken off and those parts of the pitch refreshed.
Well, both of them have been particularly good. You know, not of constant threat. Just their pace, really. They occupy one of our centre halves. And every time there's been a ball in, they've just always looked to link play or play in those channels.
Yeah, they've both been very good. And now fresh legs come on. You can see he's got that rotation mentality, Richie Wellens. He rotates his starting 11. He's clearly trusting these wide attackers to match the standards that Williams and Perkins have set. It's just a long free kick, and Brunt misses his interception. He recovers and makes a challenge. O'Connell launches it clear. Smith can't get on the end of it. Galbraith, neat pass inside. They have been good on the ball under pressure. Orient to go back this time to Keeley, the keeper. And he clears right-footed. Brunt leaps, good header. It's knocked back down the flank. Kelman jumping, but again, Brunt wins it. Rathbone does well to get there and keep possession. Brunt goes long. Fletcher backing in and flicks it on beautifully. Smith as well to take it in his stride. Bursting down the left, only Fletcher in support. He rather tops his shot though. And it rolls across the box, and Edmonds Green has got a lot of time to bring that ball away.
Yeah, he just didn't get his head up, did he? Fletcher was busting a gut to get in that box, but just wasn't quite quick enough to get in there, to get on the end of the... I'm guessing it was a ball into the box.
It seemed to hit Fletcher's hand. He tries, well, he tried those a couple last season, a shot on the turn from a good 30 yards. But it's off target anyway, and the keeper gets across. He didn't get hold of it, really.
It's the first time, though, we've had a little bit of link play from these two. Smith in down the sides of him. I was going to say we haven't had much joy out of Happy, have we? But he certainly looked after Smith relatively well.
It's Matty James on a determined run down the right, but he's running off the pitch. Looks like there could be another substitution on the way. Parkin again is consulting the... Well, actually, I've seen Wrexham got the board, it seems. I haven't seen the bench programme aboard before, but they appear to be. Wilby goes to the 4 at the back diamond, I wonder, as O'Connell. That's a studied little pass to McLean in the middle of the pitch. He feeds it back to Brunt. First time pass allows Rathbone to turn in midfield and thread a ball which is mishit. Cannon can't get onto that throw-in. And again, the crowd murmur discontentedly.
It's just not quite working, is it? There's something going on. You know, people are running inside and we're playing outside. It's just not quite clicking like it was in the first half.
Longman is going to be brought on. Throw-in taken. I wonder if it's for McLean.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Thrown down the line by Cleworth. Headed away well by Brown. Cleworth tries to feed it back in. It's blocked though. And that's Barnett fighting away. He does well to make a challenge. It spins behind Sweeney. Smith chases after that. He needs to stay on his feet. No, he doesn't. He's done brilliantly. He's well, I got to be honest, I thought he won the ball cleanly. He's furious. The linesman gives the foul. The linesman was right there, to be fair. I mean, I thought at first he could get in trouble the way he was running in and lunging in, but he did look like he actually scooped the ball back.
Yeah, he just looked to hook it back. The linesman miles away from the incident, obviously, like a yard. Just, I'm not sure what really, whether that was a free kick or not. So Longman looks like he'll go on to the left-hand side. Again, a positive change. Two attacking wing-backs now.
I mean, Longman, playing for Hull in the Championship, has been playing on the left of a front three. And yeah, obviously it's a wing-back position now, but yeah, he's now got a chance to get forwards. I didn't want to see Barnett rested because I thought he's looked decent enough. As Rathbone's beaten in the air by Prattley. Here's Cleworth now feeding it forward. Smith backing into Happy again. Happy can win it though. Cannon does well to protect this, and the ball goes out for a throw. Barnett looking for options. Quickly back to Cleworth. Into the last 15 minutes. Cleworth into the centre circle. Rathbone back to him. Cleworth on the halfway line. Just holding her up. Rathbone. Good pressure on the ball. And Rathbone lays it back and committing 3 men forwards to press. Wrexham have to go back to Howard. Howard pings it long. Fletcher attacking it, won't get there again. Happy swings everything in there, and Brunt doesn't make the interception. Jay's running at him, goes round the outside, drills it across the face of goal. Nobody is there. Abdullahi can't stop it going behind for the goal kick.
But we get good possession, and it's just that next pass. We're just looking to put it forward and just put it over the top. We want to play a little bit, so can one of the strikers drop in and help out? Can one of the midfielders get on the ball and just make a couple of passes, because our wing backs are still on?
Ball played long. Smith in the air, flicks it on well, but it drops the wrong side of Fletcher. And Brown again, tireless, gets the ball back to his keeper. Hit long by Keeley. Rathbone heads it against Prattley and comes out with the ball. Longman is breaking down the flank, demanding it. Rathbone uses his run and runs into the space he's created. The crowd are unhappy when Rathbone goes backwards. I mean, to me, this is a huge overreaction by the crowd. There's 15 minutes left. Rathbone didn't fancy picking out Longman, so we retained possession and got those passes in midfield, which allow us to get higher up the pitch. Here's O'Connell now. Chips this, looking for Fletcher. It's a good ball. Fletcher takes it on the chest into the box, but he's well dispossessed by Edmund Screen, who's done well since he's come on. Wrexham at the throw-in and get it level the edge of the area. And that's what I like it from the crowd, frankly, roaring Wrexham on. The ball thrown back to Brunt in midfield. but then complaints when he gives it to O'Connell. O'Connell is fouled by Kelman, free kick on the halfway line.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird atmosphere, isn't it? It's difficult because when we have just punted it forward, we haven't got it right, and there's been groans equally then.
Longman stands her up into the box. Fletcher nods it down, hooked away from under the bar. Again, Edmonds Green is there. Throw into Wrexham, level the edge of the box on the right-hand side. Now then, that could be a yellow card for Sweeney. Just kicked the ball into the crowd as it crossed the line. And he does get a booking. I've got to say that I reckon that ball's still in play, in which case you're allowed to kick it in the crowd, surely, if you want to. Well, anyway, throwing level the edge of the box. Sweeney didn't seem to dissent too much. Barnett with the ball in his hands. Back to Cleworth. Onto his left foot, stands it up towards Fletcher, who nods it on. Smith backing in, can't get there. Brown's clearance is blocked. Now then, Donnelly, neat little pass. And Kelman is bursting through the middle. O'Connell thinks about taking him out, doesn't. Cleworth gets a good challenge. It hit Kelman last, I think. Ball goes out for a throw to Wrexham, level the edge of the box. Barnett's looking around for a replacement ball. Quickly finds Cannon. Good return pass. Barnett hooks it into the goal mouth. Free header away by Happy, though. Kelman trying to touch it on. And it's picked up and controlled again well by Donnelly. O'Connell has done brilliantly to step into midfield and dispossess him. And Longman surging forwards the edge of the box. Looks to be fouled. Referee gives it. Shooting range, I would say. Very swift yellow card whipped out by the referee for whoever made that challenge. Was it Galbraith?
Well, just a couple of moments from Longman. Electric pace. It just changes the tempo of our attacks up, and it's just lifted the crowd here. Get the ball out to him, give him an opportunity to get at the fullback.
Yeah, exactly. He's driving it on that right foot and asking questions. So, free kick. It's Fletcher and Rathbone standing on it. I mean, it's certainly in shooting range. What, 22, 23 yards out left of the D.
Am I right in saying we haven't scored a free kick so far this season, direct?
I think you are, yeah. So, the two men are on it. The wall is lined up. The ref gives the go-ahead. It's Fletcher clipping it, hits the top of the wall. Wrexham is screaming for a penalty here. And the referee gives the corner. He took a long time. I think he was listening to his linesman there, wasn't he? But
well, he's closer. He's looking straight down the barrel of it. This linesman's miles away.
Yeah. Wrexham, well, certainly Rathbone and Fletcher were eager. But they didn't get the call. The crowd didn't really commit to it either. 10 minutes left. In swinging corner from Rathbone. Floated into the goal mouth and Pratley attacked it. Wrexham shout for the corner. It's a goal kick though.
Well, it fell to O'Connell, didn't it? I think the first player missed it, and then the ricochet falls to O'Connor, just looks to drive it back across goal, but doesn't get enough on it, and it squirts near post and out for a goal kick. They're going to be in no rush here.
They've got another change lined up. Dom Ball is going to come on. And the referee says the change should be made. They have chewed the clock up quite well, haven't they, Orient? Kelman is going to come off. Scored the first goal, of course. And again, I mean, I don't blame Orient. He's walking off very slowly. The referee's not doing anything about it, so you're not going to hurry up. Marriott's stripping off as well for Wrexham.
Yeah, Kelman's been brilliant though, hasn't he, for Orient? Can see why he scored so many so far this season. You know, it was a brilliant strike for the goal, but just his work rate as well, his runs in behind, really caused that back line some problems today.
To change his shape, as Ball has gone into defensive midfield role, and they've left two up front as Cleworth heads it up in the air. James hooks it over his shoulder, smashed clear by Pratley. And have they gone to a diamond of Pratley sitting in front of a back four, or is Pratley actually going to mark Fletcher in a back three? As Cleworth won't take the throw yet, because Wrexham are going to go to four at the back. O'Connell hands the captain's armband to Cleworth. And Marius is on for O'Connell. Cluas then throws down the line. Fletcher touches it on with his head. Smith nods it in square. Cannon won't be able to get to that. It's hacked clear. Ajay touches it on nicely, and Abdullahi now does well to tame the ball as it bounces in front of him. Surges down the left, gets in the box. Cluas with him. He's got past him, pulls it back, but it's got out of play.
Well, yeah, Cluas just recovering because he doesn't win that first header, and then he's just almost gets caught, just leaves a leg hanging there, doesn't he? And luckily that ball just goes out of play.
Fletcher heads it on. It's put back in there though. Brown nods it down. Ball, early pass. Wrexham left 2-on-2 in their own half, and then Ajay's therefore got time to turn and run up Brunt. He gets to the edge of the box. Left-footed shot. Howard gets down well, pushes it round for the corner.
We're just playing forward too early for me. Obviously the change of formation, we've got to go for it, but we've still got to keep it tight at the back, so we're still in it. It's only a goal to get us something out of the game.
Corner again. Very slow to take it. But like I said, the referee's showing no sign of doing anything about it. So I would certainly do this. It'll eventually be an in-swinger. The short option is on. The signal's given and it's played short. Galbraith back to ball. And it's fed in the box nicely. Pratley hits the goal line again. Cannon gets across, gets a good block. Another corner, right-hand side. But we're running out of time here. Just over 6 minutes left. There ought to be a fair chunk of added time. But Wrexham struggling here to recreate the levels we had in the first half. In swinger again. This time it delivers. And it carries through the 6-yard box, but it couldn't be controlled by Happy. And Wrexham tried to break down the right-hand side. It's Longman. He plays the ball in behind Marriott, though, and Pratley's got back well to deal with that. Ball partially cleared. Cannon in midfield, battling away to try and win it back. It's Orient to come out with the ball, though. And ball breaking down the left-hand side. Longman is with him. Clips him. Ball stays on his feet because he's determined to get to that corner flag and hold it up there. Longman trying to get a foot in, and in the end the throwing goes Wrexham's way, I think mistakenly possibly.
I agree with you again, Mark. Little toe between the legs from Longman, ball out.
Fletcher flicks the header on from the throw, but Wrexham don't get to the second ball. James does well to win that. Rathbone looks to volley it on to Longman, but Longman was very narrow, so he's just hooked it on, and Galbraith can retrieve it on the right, 30 yards out. Ball in the middle of the pitch, helps it down the right. Aggressive first touch by Abdullahi. Can't get past Brunt. And Wrexham now with Longman in his own half. Neat little pass inside. Rathbone, all action and eagerness, plays it backwards, and the crowds are really unhappy. Orient commit 4 players into Wrexham's half. Wrexham have got 5 back, and look at the moment, you know, a sort of broken team, 5 at the back, 5 up front, nobody in the middle of the pitch, and no simple pass, nobody really dropping off to offer and make the extra man.
Yeah, and I feel like we've done that really early, and it's given us no midfield to build off, and that's why when Ollie Rathbone's got on the ball, he hasn't had that option. He's either been forced to hit it long or go back, and that's where the frustration has come from with the crowd.
Rathbone takes that nicely on the turn and crosses the halfway, and Longman makes the run. Great ball by Rathbone. Longman now on the left, lots of bodies in the box. He stands it up, and Smith beaten to it in the air. Fletcher beaten to it. James tries to bring it down in the box. It doesn't stick for him properly. Cannon hooks it on. Barnett drills a shot, well blocked by Sweeney. And it ricochets up to the halfway line, where Ajay does well to lay it off. Brown surging down the left, Barnett using his pace, but Brown's done brilliantly to feed it inside. 2-on-1, Ajay tees up Abdullahi, who stumps Brunt on the floor, beats Cluath, helps it on to Ajay, and he pulls it back, and Brunt clears it off the line. Well, I mean, what a drama they made of that. And now Wrexham can break. Huge kick by Howard, and is that a foul? Yes, it is. Now that's a red card, is it?
Well, he's on a yellow already, Pratley, so he's got to be off.
Yeah. Well, it's a second yellow. He's lucky it's a second yellow, I think, because Marius is surely in on goal. Free kick right on the edge of the box. Orient down to 10. What a crazy minute that was.
Well, just before the opportunity they had, how they've not scored, I do not know. They just put it in the net, but he takes 2 on, which gives Rathbone the chance to get back to it. But Marriott's hobbling back out of the box after the first initial cross into the box at the other end, and he's able to get himself onside, and it's a great kick by Mark Howard right down the side of his. Pratley in behind him. I was just going to mention how good Pratley's been in the game. I felt he's just asked loads of questions going forwards and then played brilliantly at the back as he's just dropped in there. But then he's just got the wrong side of Marriott. Great run, and if he could have just got a yard closer, he was in. Maybe another assist for Howard.
Yeah, it was great delivery by Howard again, wasn't it? And this free kick again, it's left of the D, a bit further wide, but right on the edge of the box. And again, Fletcher and Rathbone stand on it. Keeley lining his wall up. Orient down to 10. There's the referee. Is telling the wall to stay behind the line.
Get somebody on the end of the wall in the eye line. The keeper's got a right sight of it straight down the wall.
Rathbone this time drills it flat straight at the keeper, who fumbles but holds on to it the second attempt. And the referee gives a foul, does he, for the challenge on Keeley, who stays down holding his head. He's getting plenty of grief from the crowd. I mean, he fumbled it, so whether that means you're entitled to get after it, I don't know.
You see how it's just straight down the barrel of it. He can just see it all the way as it leaves his foot. If you get somebody in there, he just might see it a little bit late, which then doesn't enable him to pick it up so easily.
Yeah, I think to be fair, he has got the ball under control a long time before the challenge comes in. I mean, I don't think it's a challenge as such. I couldn't see quite who it was, but the player, I think, just couldn't snap the brakes on in time. Someone behind me in the crowd says the ref needs to add at least 20 minutes on. I don't think you're going to get that, but here's Ball launching it away. We'll find out in 45 seconds. Brunt heads it clear. Ball protecting his defence, heads it away again. Rathbone now to Barnett. Cannon's offering on the flank. Barnett goes through the middle. Well, happy you'll have those all day. Rathbone can't control it, and Wrexham have left the midfield empty. Luckily for Wrexham, it was a bit of a hurried ball forwards by Donnelly. Brunt's back pass isn't very well struck, and Howard squeezes it out wide straight to Donnelly, 45 yards out, who luckily seems to want to prioritise possession ahead of feeding it to a J. And Wrexham go forwards. Fletcher unlucky not to be able to reach that. He'll fight now with Happy, and Happy seems to manhandle him. Ref doesn't give anything up. And now Orient again have a chance to break away through the middle. Galbraith has got a J in front of him. Feeds him in on the right channel. He sets himself and drills it over the bar. Poor finish, but then 8 added minutes to be played.
Well, Wrexham have still got a massive opportunity in this game. They got given a massive lifeline when Abdullah couldn't put that ball in the back of the net earlier on.
Clewer to the diagonal, but it's Marriott challenging for it with the big man either side of him. And Orient now tried to come away. Brown in the centre circle has got Abdullah to his left and finds him. Notwithstanding their inability to take that chance, the subs have done well, I think, for Orient, haven't they? Freshening things up as Abdullah finds another one, Ball, who's won a lot of physical challenges in midfield. Brown, 30 yards out. The crowd frustrated that Wrexham aren't snapping him with challenges. Sweeney on the left lifts it over the top. Cleworth heads it clear. Brown is there, volleys it down the line. Good tackle by Barnett, but Abdullah is still scrapping for it. Barnett fights away. Brown steps in to claim it. Ajay tries a cute little bit of skill to beat Cleworth. Cleworth gets it back to Howard, who stands it out of play for a throw-in.
I just think we've lost our fluidity. You know, we just don't really know what the formation is, how we're going to play it, where the next pass is. You know, when you're in your system of 3-5-2, we know where the next pass goes. I think, like Mia says, we've just maybe gone a little bit early off script. I know you need players on the pitch.
Sweeney down the line. Cleworth heads it clear. Cannon can't win it against Brown, who hooks it over the top. Cleworth volleys it back into midfield. Smith can't get there in the air. Again, Ball wins the header, and again, Ball gets it loose ball as two. He's fighting away in there. Barnett helps it on. James does well to shovel it forwards. Marriott's done well. And then a wild lunge by Sweeney. He's been booked, hasn't he?
I don't think it was him. I think
was it not?
I think it was Abdullah who got that yellow earlier on.
Right.
Yeah, otherwise they would have been down to 9.
It was a wild challenge on Marriott, wasn't he? He was going to get past him. Free kick in the halfway line. Orient holding a high line about 25 yards out. Cleworth stands up the diagonal. Fletcher is underneath it. It's flicked on towards him by Brunt and clears. Jay holding her up and feeding it back to Sweeney. Wrexham commit 2 players to putting pressure on him. Sweeney drills it long. Cleworth heads it into midfield. There's nobody in midfield though really for Wrexham. Happy heads it away. Clearance by Brunt. He's a bit lucky he found Rathbone, who can't find a teammate. Barnett again fighting hard to try and win the ball.
I'm sure we've got a spare man though somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't necessarily feel like it at the moment, as Orient's protecting the ball really well.
Just a bit of composure though, that ball dropping on Brunt. Just take it down. Somebody tell him that he's got time to bring it down and we can start our attacks again. Instead it's just a hot potato and you're just looking to hook it back in.
3 of the 8 minutes played, and Wrexham have not taken advantage of the extra man. Abdullah goes to take the throw, then drops it. The referee tells him to cut it out and also warns Sweeney, but doesn't show a card. Abdullah holding her up by the corner flag. Barnett gets it away from him and does well to hit it down the line. Smith under lots of pressure, still in his own half, gives it away. And here's Sweeney now as an option inside. He goes outside to Abdullah instead. And he knocks it down the line, but it's an offside flag against Sweeney. James knocks him to the floor to get the ball back off him urgently, and Howard's up to take the kick. Howard waiting for Smith to get up there alongside Fletcher. Fletcher's going to challenge for it. Touches it on behind Marriott. Only one player making the run on beyond Fletcher. And that was what we were looking to do, wasn't it? As Brunt and Ajay are having a real battle on the middle of the pitch. In the end, Brunt can't get to the loose ball. He's fighting in midfield for it. Thought he went with a high boot there. Ref doesn't give it. James just launches it up in the air. Smith can't win that. Cleworth. James helping up wide. Rathbone is there. Longman is down the line for him. Rathbone has got James in space inside and uses him in the centre circle. James round the corner. Cannon. Longman on the left now, 25 yards out, running at Galbraith, goes round the outside, sweeps in the cross. Smith bitten to it by Happy. Long range shot comes in. Happy blocks it. Cannon it was who hit it. Rathbone nods it back into the goal mouth. Happy heads it clear. You see a pattern forming here by any chance? He's a bit good, Happy. As the ball is cleared, Cleworth in his own half. Takes a touch, drills it long down the left. 5 minutes pretty much played of the 8 now. Longman does well to latch onto the loose ball, but his touch is heavy. The ball clears. Barnett wins a good header. It's helped on towards the edge of the area. Smith finds Fletcher. Awkward bounce of Fletcher, but he's looking for Smith. He's rather run off the ball well by Sweeney, and the ball's hooked clear. It's frantic.
Just seem to be playing into their hands a little bit though. Straight down the throat of Happy. He's happy to head it away.
Yeah. Nice. Well, Longman's going to take a throw. Has he got a long throw on? And Keeley's standing virtually on the corner of his 6-yard box, anticipating a long throw. Longman spears it into the 6-yard box, headed away. Longman again, drills it in the crowd. It's blocked and it'll spin for a throw by the corner flag. Yeah, I feel a little bit in the second half we forgot ourselves a touch. Letting that goal in seemed to really rock us, and yeah, it's been more frantic than focused. As here's Longman with another long throw. Seemed to slip out of his hands though. Headed away. Rathbone nods it back down to Longman at the edge of the area. Early cross. Touched on by Cannon. Barnett can't stretch and get a proper touch on it. Blasted away. The Orient bench telling us their team to get up the pitch. 10-man Orient. Digging deep. 2 of the added 8 minutes left. The ball's back to Howard. He stands it up for Fletcher. He nods it on well. Barnett stretches as well to help it to Marius. Barnett right side the box. Under hit pass to Cannon. He did well to pull out from the challenge because he would have committed a foul. He's won a throw. It's what, 25 yards out. Barnett only has Cleworth offering.
It's 2v1. Just play. Bop it to him and get it back.
And he throws it into the edge of the 6-yard box. James is the target. Couldn't win it. And it's cleared. Brunt brings it down, facing Howard, turns, stands it back up. Fletcher's attacking this, does well to knock it loose. Wrongman squares it. James, edge of the area, good turn. It's a scramble. Fletcher stabs it in the goal mouth. What a save! Outrageous save that is by Keeley. There's a minute of the 8th left, and that was the equaliser, wasn't it? He did so well to get his left arm up to that.
Yeah, what a save. I thought he just had to end up in the back of that net as the seconds just run away from Wrexham.
45 seconds left. It's Brunt on the right, driving forwards. Nice shape on the cross. Oh, great defensive header. Fletcher lunged in. Magnificent defensive header to put it behind for the corner at full stretch by Happy. Of course it was.
I wasn't sure if it was Ball just making that recovery run, but you can see it's just going to land on Fletcher's head, isn't it, if he's not there?
Well, Howard's up for the corner. 15 seconds left. Corner to the near post. Half cleared. And Barnett smashes it in. It's blocked in front of goal and hacked away. And now Howard's in a race to get there first, racing into his own half. It's an awkward situation. He does ever so well. Brings it down, squares it. Rathbone lunges at it. Finds Longman. The crowd are going crazy here as Longman drives forwards. Longman, corner of the box, stands it up to the far post. Oh, it's headed there wide. Smith got up over his man, couldn't control his header. And that is surely that.
Yep, that's it.
Indeed it is. Well, we had the drama all right. Wrexham ultimately threw everything they got at Orient, but we lose at the racecourse for only the 2nd time this season. Frustration for Wrexham. Absolutely crazy conclusion to a match which, to be honest, Wrexham didn't really perform well in the second half and have paid a heavy price for that. The final score is Wrexham 1, Leyton Orient 2. I mean, Orient have shown their quality here. They've shown why they are climbing up the table. They've shown why they haven't lost an away game since, well, mid-October. But Wrexham will be so frustrated having scored first and having looked good in a very high quality first half, because the second half undoubtedly was Orient's day. Came out at us, got that second goal and really made a struggle to cope with the way that they were coming forwards. We didn't get that ball going, moving in midfield as we normally do at all. And so, frustratingly for Wrexham, we go down to a home defeat. Wrexham took the lead. Ollie Rathbone heading in a terrific corner by James McLean, but a tremendous finish by Kelman gave them the equaliser after Brunt had not managed to intercept a cross by Pratley. At the start of the second half, Orient started well and got the goal. Wrexham were unhappy with the goal. A corner played in, only half cleared at the near post, and Donnelly, terrific talent, on loan from Spurs, hit the sweetest of volleys into the net. Wrexham were unhappy, and I think their complaint was that Cleworth, who had to make the clearing head at the near post, had been pulled to the ground. The referee consulted his linesman via the communications, but couldn't agree. And as a result, Wrexham were 2-1 down, and we really didn't manage to get going after that, in all honesty. Although it has to be said, the Orients were impressive. The crowd got quite fractious as well, and were impatient as urging Wrexham to knock it forwards, when I think personally a bit more composure was required. And as a consequence, despite desperate late efforts with Smith, Fletcher and Marriott up front, as Wrexham went to 4 at the back, we just couldn't squeeze that ball home. Pratley was sent off for a second yellow card. Thought really should have been a straight red, because it was a professional foul on Jack Marriott, who was about a stride outside the box. In the closing stages, Howard went up for a corner. There were scrambles. Keeley made 2 excellent saves. One in the first half to deny Smith, and then another deep in the 8 minutes of added time. A tremendous reflex block with his left arm And in the closing moments, Smith on last touch of the game at the far post, getting up well, but heading the ball out of play when he was going for goal. Frustration for Wrexham, but Orient have shown their quality, and Wrexham must dust themselves down and go again at the weekend at Mansfield. Remember, you can have a listen to Andy and Mia's analysis on YouTube now, on Wrexham's YouTube channel. And of course, the Final Whistle podcast will be out tomorrow to analyse things in more detail. But with a final score of Wrexham 1, Leyton Orient 2, we've been Mark Griffiths, Mia Roberts and Andy Morrell from Wrexham AFC.